You're in Konoha, and you call these ninja tools? This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 376 Jiraiya's Complaints. You, come on, accompany me to find a suitable hotel to stay in first. By the way, do you know what Tianyu likes to eat? What kind of clothes does he like? What hobbies does he like? Where does he practice every day? Is there anyone he likes in the village? Who is the person he likes? What is his identity? Tiantian turned around and looked at Xiaoli, asking a lot of questions like a string of cannonballs. Xiaoli kept silent in the face of Tiantian's questions. I'm sorry, Miss Tiantian, these questions are the personal privacy of Tianyu. I have no right to disclose them to you. If you want to know, go and ask him in person. Now I will take you to the best hotel in Konoha. I hope you can have fun and enjoy your trip to Konoha in the next few days. Xiaoli said, and turned around and left with Tiantian. The people in Konoha are all wooden. Tiantian was a little crazy. But she still followed Xiaoli. In the Hokage's office. Tsunade was rare today. She had already processed a lot of documents and now stood up and looked at Tianyu. You handled the matter very well this time, but I heard from Izumo and Zatetsu that you seem to have brought back a trouble. Tsunade crossed her hands on her abdomen and smiled at Tianyu. And this action of Tsunade made Tianyu instinctively feel a sense of danger. It's not a trouble, it's just a priestess from the land of demons who wants to visit Konoha and see the scenery of Konoha. It's nothing. She will leave after she finishes seeing it. Tianyu replied. Oh, really? Tsunade's eyes narrowed. Hearing this, Tsunade looked at Naruto next to Tianyu. Naruto, tell me if this is the case. She knew that Neji would never say bad things about Tianyu. But Naruto was famous for being careless, and sometimes he didn't know how to restrain what he said. Asking Naruto could actually get some special information. No, brother Tianyu doesn't think Tiantian is a trouble, but Tiantian always comes to me on her own initiative. In fact, I don't understand why Tiantian said that the bloodline of the Miko needs brother Tianyu's help. I think if they need help, we can indeed help. But since brother Tianyu has already refused, then I don't need to say anything more. Naruto told Tsunade about their previous conversation without reservation. But this sentence also made Tianyu feel helpless. Naruto's mouth. It's really a disaster. Tianyu, what else do you say? Tsunade looked at Tianyu with his hands on his hips and couldn't help but questioning. Nothing, you heard me, I have already rejected it, not to mention that it is just some bad luck. By the way, I found something on Wang Quan's body in the underground palace. I am looking for Orochimaru now. I have something urgent to do, so I will leave first. Ningxi, Naruto, you two report the information of this mission to Tsunade. Oh, you all performed very well in this mission. Well, the character level will be calculated as S level, and each of you will get double the bonus. Tianyu did not forget to talk about their rewards when he left. But at the end, Tianyu still hesitated. Naruto's, there is no need to double it, just half. After saying this, Tianyu left the Hokage's office directly. Hey, brother Tianyu, why is my reward not only not doubled, but also halved? Naruto didn't know what was going on. But Ningxi and Tsunade certainly understood. But Ningxi didn't say much and Tsunade didn't speak either. Next, it was time for Ningxi to report the situation. Tianyu directly came to Orochimaru's laboratory with Flying Thunder God. But unexpectedly, Jiraiya was also here. Jiraiya, why are you here too? Tianyu was a little surprised. It was Tsunade who asked me to come. Uchiha Itachi's surgery will be in the next few days. Tsunade was afraid that some people could not bear it, so she asked me to come and watch these days. To be honest, doing experiments is really boring. I don't have any inspiration here. I can't even write a book. It's really boring. Jiraiya couldn't help but complain when he saw Tianyu coming. Orochimaru was okay before. But now he is more and more like an experiment maniac. Sometimes Jiraiya wanted to talk to Orochimaru but couldn't. In addition, although Senju Tobirama was also in the laboratory. But according to reason, he was the second-generation Hokage. He was famous for his strictness. Jiraiya didn't dare to make trouble with Senju Tobirama no matter how excessive he was. He had no choice but to hold it in. It seems that you have met your nemesis. Tianyu couldn't help laughing when he heard this. Okay, Jiraiya, if Tsunade hadn't asked you to come, I would have thrown you out long ago. You complain about this and that in front of me every day. Do you think I like you? Orochimaru couldn't help but dislike Jiraiya. Tianyu watched the two of them quarreling. He stood aside with his arms crossed to watch the fun. His posture and attitude were just like moving a small stool. As if he saw Tianyu's intention to laugh at him, Orochimaru coughed. Tianyu, I know that you will never come to me for no reason. Just tell me what's going on. Orochimaru looked at Tianyu and said. You know me best. Indeed, I came to you this time because I really want you to investigate something. Tianyu took out the token he got from Huinquan. Help me take a look at this token. This is Huinquan's. This token can be used to control the undead soldiers, but I have studied it for a long time and don't know how to use it. Moreover, these undead soldiers have already stopped moving. If these things are activated, I don't know how to control them, so I will give it to you temporarily. Tianyu said. Oh, you really trust me? Okay, leave this token with me. There are some traces on it. I seem to have seen them in some ancient books. Those traces are very old. They seem to be handed down from the time of the Six-Paths Sage. If you want to investigate, it will take a long time. Orochimaru looked at the runes on it. He was a little uninterested. After all, he wanted to learn all the ninjutsu and then make his body perfect. In this way, he could live forever. But when he saw that the runes on it were handed down by the Six-Paths Sage, Orochimaru immediately changed his attitude. Chapter 377 Uchiha Itachi's Body. Being able to control ghost soldiers means that perhaps this rune can control souls. In addition to the Shiki seal, the power to control souls also includes some secret techniques of the Uzumaki clan. But that was lost with the disappearance of the Whirlpool country. It would be nice to get one now. Well, then you study it. I'll leave first. By the way, it's still the old rules. When Uchiha Itachi recovers, I will naturally ask him to give you some samples so that you can study his Sharingan. But before that, you must not have any ideas about him, otherwise I will take action to deal with you. Tianyu said with a smile. Hearing Tianyu's words, Orochimaru was stunned for a moment. Then he rolled his eyes at him unhappily. I know, and besides, even if I covet Uchiha Itachi's Sharingan, no matter how much I covet it, I will not attack a patient. Orochimaru said unhappily. Well, that's it. Tianyu left the underground laboratory after saying this. Came to the Konoha hospital. When Tianyu arrived here, he happened to run into Deidara. Deidara came here alone. This guy joined the Akatsuki because he was not convinced after being defeated by Uchiha Itachi. So his wish has always been to defeat Uchiha Itachi. The reason why Tianyu brought him to Konoha was also under the banner of Itachi. Deidara took the bait. Itachi, you have made your body like this in the past few years. If I hadn't come to Konoha and found out that you were already in the hospital, I might have been looking for you all over the world. Deidara said as he cut an apple and handed it to Uchiha Itachi. I originally wanted to travel around the world and die quietly, but I didn't expect that Tianyu-sama would bring me to Konoha and worry about my illness. To be honest, I do feel guilty. I shouldn't have brought you to the Akatsuki organization. When Itachi looked at Deidara, he felt a little guilty. But at that time, it was a Bido's order, and Uchiha Itachi had to execute it. What are you talking about? Even if you didn't bring me to the small organization, I would definitely become a rebel. I can't stay in the Iwagakure. I just have some special abilities. My master has already taught me a lesson, but they insisted on driving me out of the village, saying that I blew up their houses with bombs, etc. You keep talking about it. I wanted to leave anyway, so this has nothing to do with you. Instead, you have to take good care of your body so that you can fight me. Do you understand? Deidara looked at Uchiha Itachi and couldn't help saying, okay, I'll try my best. Uchiha Itachi couldn't help laughing when he heard this. At this time, Tianyu also pushed the door open and entered. Did I interrupt you? No, Master Tianyu, you are here. Uchiha Itachi smiled and looked at Tianyu. Deidara also turned his head, and he looked at Tianyu with some fear. After all, this guy was beaten a lot in the past. If it weren't for Tianyu showing mercy, he would have died at the hands of the One Tail. So Deidara respected and feared Tianyu. He respected his position in Konoha and the things he did. Deidara felt that if he could speak out in Konoha at that time, he would not have become a rebel. But he feared Tianyu's strength. This guy is extremely powerful. Compared with the leader of the Akatsuki organization, the guy with the Samsara eye is not much inferior. Well, Tsunade said that your body has recovered and you can have surgery soon, so I came to see you. When you have surgery, I will take Sasuke over, so that you can see him first when you wake up. Tianyu said with a smile. Sasuke is his weakness. For Uchiha Itachi, nothing is more important than Sasuke, and he is even willing to give up everything for Sasuke. Well, okay, thank you very much, sir. Hearing this, Uchiha Itachi couldn't help but nod. He also wanted to see what level his brother Sasuke has grown to now. Well, the Akatsuki organization is probably going to fall into the final crazy stage now. The members left are probably Nagato, Konan, the man who calls himself a Fei, and Black and White Setsu. Next, they will definitely hunt the tailed beasts like crazy. Now we have the 1, 2 and 3 tails. The 1 and 3 tails are ours, and the 2 tail has fallen into their hands. I'm afraid they will attack the remaining tailed beasts next, so I'm afraid that every village will have a big change next. Deidara, you guys have to be well. Tianyu looked at Deidara and said something meaningful. These words made Deidara's hair stand up. I know, and now we have joined Konoha, we will no longer have any involvement with small organizations, don't worry. Deidara spoke hurriedly. He tried his best to sever his relationship with the Akatsuki organization. I believe you. Tianyu smiled back. After all, trust people when you employ them, and don't employ them if you don't trust them. After talking for a while, Tianyu left the Konoha hospital. At the same time in the Sand Village, Kakashi came to the Sand Village. Want to bring back the remaining Konoha ninjas. Although these Konoha ninjas were injured when resisting the ghost soldiers, they are now able to go back after treatment. Thank you for Konoha's help this time, otherwise our ninjas would probably die more. Temari, Gaara, and Kankuro all stood in front of Kakashi. Temari couldn't help but express her gratitude to Kakashi. It's nothing. Lord Amaji has already made Konoha and Sand Village form an alliance. Then Sand Village, the current ninjas, and the powerful tribes are what we Konoha people should do. If there is nothing else, I will take all the ninjas away. Kakashi smiled and looked at Gaara and said, well, take them away, but please convey my respect to Lord Amaji. Gaara said, okay, I will. Kakashi nodded, then looked at the Konoha ninjas who had gathered, and turned around to take them back to Konoha. But the next moment, the accident happened directly. A large group of people suddenly appeared in the sky above the Sand Village. Behind these people were hang gliders. They flew directly from the large ship on the sea. These hang gliders crossed the desert and came to the sky above the city of the Sand Village. Then, without hesitation, they threw the detonating tags and bombs in their hands. Boom! With the appearance of the first explosion. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 378 Sudden Attack. Above the ground, a fire suddenly shot up into the sky. The building collapsed with a loud bang. Enemy attack! Enemy attack! The ninja who had given the warning began to shout. Immediately, the ninjas of the Sand Village began to fight back. Countless villagers began to panic. Buildings collapsed, bombs fell on the ground, and some civilians were directly injured. Broken arms and debris fell to the ground. Blood flowed. For a moment, the entire Sand Village became a mess. What's going on? Kakashi was originally going to take the ninja away, but when he saw this situation, he knew he couldn't leave. You go save those poor people, but at the same time, you must also pay attention to your own safety. Kakashi directly asked these Konoha ninjas to quickly save those civilians. Yes. This team of ninjas also began to rescue civilians without hesitation. Together with the ninjas of the Sand Village. Gaara, Temari and Kankuro, the three of them were stunned for a moment. Start the second level warning plan. After Gaara said this, the Sandla lifted his body and flew into the air. Gaara's speed was very fast. Almost in an instant, he appeared in front of the enemies riding the gliders. Sand Shijur. The sand in the air turned into grains of size, and then burst out like bullets. It directly hit the enemies sitting on the gliders. Those enemies were destroyed in an instant, and the gliders fell to the ground. Ninjas from all around came up and wanted to catch this enemy. But before they could act, this enemy had already bitten the poison non in his mouth and committed suicide. It seems that they also know that if they are caught, they will definitely be punished very strictly. So they don't let the other party know any news from here at the first time. Kill in midair and start to attack the enemy continuously. With Gaara's attack, more and more enemies riding the gliders fell to the ground. But each of them, like the previous enemies, took poison and committed suicide. But Gaara is only one person after all, and Kakashi also knows that the defense ability of the ninjas of the Sand Village is almost zero. These enemies flying from the sky, they have no ability to fight back at all. Although Kakashi's own Raikiri's speed is enough to kill the enemy, the Sharingan consumes extra chakra. If he uses Raikiri forcefully, his chakra will be exhausted after 3 or 4 times. Because he can't fly, Hatake's swordsmanship has no effect on these enemies in the air. So these people are almost the nemesis of the Sand Village ninjas. If this is in Konoha, relying on Amerji and the ninjas of Konoha, they can at least form an effective defense. Coupled with Amerji's ninjutsu, killing all these enemies is not a problem. But now this is the Sand Village, except for some ninjas, they have no reinforcements. So they can only hold on here. But Kakashi couldn't think of who these people were, and why they directly attacked the Sand Village when the ghost soldiers just retreated. Who are they? Temari waved the fan in her hand and attacked the enemies in the sky. But her attack was very limited. If these enemies fly too high, his wind escape will not be able to cause them harm. Kenjiro's puppets are good at dealing with enemies on the ground, but they are also somewhat powerless against those flying in the air. So now they can be said to be in a passive situation. As for Gaara, although he can deal with the enemy, the Sand Village is a city. There are too many people living in it. These people scattered, constantly using bombs and detonating tags, and even holding a special weapon in their hands, and began to indiscriminately attack the crowd below. Even if their own people accidentally fell down, they would be killed mercilessly by themselves. Such attacks made Gaara feel a little strange. I still remember that during the Second Human War, there was a group of ninjas who could use chakra to perform flying techniques. They called themselves the Kingdom of the Sky and fought against the 5 major ninja countries, but they were eventually destroyed by Konoha. Grandma Chiao came out of the room. Grandma Chiao saved a lot of people on the way here. At this time, she happened to hear the conversation between Temari and Kanjiro, so she explained. So, their target is the 5 major countries. The mobile phone was stunned after hearing this. The Second Ninja World War was too long ago for them. But the other party came with such a fierce force, and they must want to avenge the hatred in the past. If things go wrong this time, it is very likely that the Sand Village will suffer a heavy blow. These people now should be the descendants of the Sky Country, and their ninjutsu seems to have become much stronger than before. Grandma Chiao looked at the ninjas in the sky and frowned. If that's the case, then we are in trouble. Temari and Kankuro both frowned. If the Sky Country wanted to take revenge, they would definitely destroy them completely. And now the Sand Village is already very weak. If it suffers such a blow again, it may really be destroyed. The daimyo of the Wind Country has always had some opinions about the Sand Village. If Konoha and the Sand Village had not united as an alliance before, the Sand Village might have been cancelled by the daimyo of the Wind Country. Now this kind of thing has happened again. They are indeed a little uncomfortable. Don't worry. If the Kingdom of the Sky wants to take revenge on the 5 great nations, they will definitely send troops to deal with Konoha and several other villages. Although the Kingdom of the Sky is very strong now, don't forget that they are attacking by surprise, and can they maintain their advantage in the air? The Sky Fortress is indeed very powerful, but at the same time, there are more than 1 ninjas with the ability to fly. We will find a way sooner or later. In my opinion, there is no need to panic, but I will stay here with the remaining Konoha ninjas for the time being to see if I can do anything for you. After this attack is over, I will immediately send a message to Konoha. Kakashi looked at Temari and said to Kankuro. Okay, thank you very much. Temari couldn't help but nod when she heard this. If the ninjas of Konoha can come to rescue them, it will be like sending charcoal in the snow. But thinking of this, Temari felt even more sad. Chapter 379, The Situation of the Air Ninja Village. Because the Sand Village is now unable to rely on its own capabilities to defend the village or take revenge, it still has to rely on Konoha. This is indeed a blow to them. Soon, These enemies riding on gliders were ready to return. Although Gaara tried to keep them as much as possible, he still let most of them leave. After dealing with some of them, Gaara returned to the ground. Gaara, Xiao said that these Hawaii of the Kingdom of Time and Space are going to take revenge on the 5 major countries. We are now planning to ask Konoha for help. What do you think? Temari and Kankuro asked Gaara hurriedly. After all, Gaara is now the wind shadow of the Sand Village. All decisions must be made by him. I agree with his suggestion, and for the sake of the Sand Village, we must ask Konoha for help as soon as possible. The situation in the Kingdom of Sky must be investigated as soon as possible, and the 5 major countries must be notified. They are likely to launch a joint attack on the 5 major countries. Gaara nodded. Since his resurrection from the dead, Gaara has become much calmer. Now if you don't look at his age, Gaara is no different from a real Kazekage. Okay, I got it. Upon hearing this, Temari put the signal for help on the pigeon without hesitation. Then she released the pigeon directly. I will also explain the situation to Lord Amaji. Kakashi also looked at Temari and Gaara and nodded. Then I'll trouble you. Gaara thanked Kakashi. Okay, don't say this. The most urgent thing now is to organize ninjas to rescue the injured as soon as possible. Gaara, come with me. With your ability, you can dig out more survivors from under the ruins. After saying this, Grandma Chiao turned and left. Gaara and Temari also followed Grandma Chiao to rescue the injured. Kakashi also joined the rescue team with the ninjas of Konoha. At the same time, in the Mist Village, the ninjas of the Kingdom of the Sky, their large ships were sailing on the sea, and then countless sky ninjas came. Attacked the village of the Mist Village. Madarumi and her team were caught off guard by the attack, and suffered heavy casualties. But fortunately, the Mist Village has many ninjas with bloodline limits, and after defense, they still repelled their attacks. Only a dozen people were lost worldwide. This made Madarumi's heart bleed. It is now extremely difficult to train a Jonin, or even everyone. But after this attack, more than a dozen were lost at once. This is indeed a bit unacceptable for them. Lord Mizukage, according to the documents, they should be ninjas who appeared during the Second Ninja War and are from the Kingdom of Sky. According to the data, they should have been destroyed by Nightmare, but I didn't expect we to appear here again. Chojuro frowned and said. If this is the case, it seems that they want to retaliate against the 5 major countries, but I want to see if they have the ability to do so. Did Tianyu promise us to help us before? In this case, I will write a letter for help now. Madarumi nodded. But Lord Mizukage, will Konoha really rescue us? Chojuro was half believing and half doubting. After all, the 5 great nations were in competition with each other. Right now, their Mist Village was attacked by the Sky Country, which should be a good thing for Konoha. Tenai will definitely come. Don't forget what he promised me, and we have already exchanged for the 3 tails. If they don't come this time, it will be a breach of trust with everyone. In the future, no one will dare to believe what Konoha says. Madarumi nodded. Yes, that's right. Chojuro nodded. At the same time, other ninja villages in the 5 great nations. The Cloud Village also experienced the attack of the Sky Country ninjas, but because the Cloud Village ninjas were powerful and their geographical location was extremely special. So although some ninjas were lost under the cooperation, they still managed to repel them. The ninjas from the Sky Country actually dared to retaliate against the ninja villages of our 5 major countries. It seems that they should have become powerful now. Send out ninjas to check the location of their base camp quickly. After finding it, send out ninjas immediately to completely destroy their base camp. I want to see how brave they are to dare to attack us. The 4th Raikage said with an extremely ugly face. Yes. Tianbui nodded. He quickly passed on the Raikage's order. The people of the Cloud Village also quickly put away the gliders. They also caught the living people from the Sky Country. Of course, the interrogation methods of the Cloud Village are not much worse than those of Konoha. So let's see if they can withstand the torture. If they can't, they can only tell all the news in endless pain. Of course, this may be a good thing for them. Because after they tell it, these ninjas will send them to the west without hesitation, which is better than them having to suffer in this world next. After all, if you offend the ninjas of the Kumagakure, their revenge is not something that ordinary people can bear. Iwagakure. The attack from the Kingdom of the Sky also came here, but there was the 2 ninjas of the Kingdom of the Sky, Anoki. Once the dust release was used, no matter how powerful those ninjas of the Kingdom of the Sky were, They could not escape. However, although such ninjutsu was powerful, it was impossible to leave any survivors. Grandpa, you are too rude. You didn't even say to leave a few survivors for us so that we can interrogate where their base camp is. Kuratsuchi hugged his shoulders, looked at the two ninjas of the Kingdom of the Sky, and said with some dissatisfaction, "What are you talking about, kid? Can't you see they are coming with great force? If we don't quickly and completely get rid of them, the villagers will be the ones who get hurt. Moreover, these are the ninjas from the Land of the Sky who attacked us during the Second Ninja War. At that time, they provoked the ninjas of the 5 great countries on their own, and were later defeated by us. However, the ninjas from Konoha contributed the most. I believe that this time the Land of the Sky's attack should have been an attack on all 5 great countries. Some circles may have suffered heavy losses, but Konoha will definitely not suffer any losses. Instead, it should be able to deal with those ninjas from the Land of the Sky, and we can just sit back and reap the benefits." 2 heavenly scales, Inoki said with a smile. Chapter 380 Revenge on the 5 Great Powers. Hearing this, Kuratsuchi curled his lips in annoyance. "Grandpa, you always have good ideas, but things never go as you think. Maybe this time, Konoha will be the one to reap the benefits." "Okay, Kuratsuchi, stop talking about this. If you make your grandpa unhappy, his back pain will come back." Huanto was helpless to smooth things over between them. "Humph, Dad is like this every time." Kuratsuchi pouted, but in the end he didn't say anything. At the same time in Konoha, the ninjas of the Kingdom of the Sky also attacked Konoha in large numbers. When they dropped the first bomb, Tianyu had already noticed the traces of these people. "Humph, you dare to come to Konoha? I have to say, you are really brave." Tianyu sneered. But before Tianyu could make a move, Senju Hoshirama was already furious. The wood escape vines of the tree stretched directly into the air. Almost in the middle of the class, those ninjas of the Kingdom of the Sky were knocked down from the air. "Catch them and interrogate them." Ibiki Marino brought the Anbu interrogation team with him and showed up at the first opportunity to arrest those people. Those ninjas from the Land of the Sky probably didn't expect that they would fail so quickly. After landing, they all planned to bite the poison sac in their mouths to commit suicide. But this is Konoha, not other places in the 5 major countries. The ninjas from the Land of the Sky cannot be allowed to act recklessly here. Ibiki Marino and his men quickly stepped forward to remove their jaws. In this way, they would not be able to commit suicide. After removing all the poison from their mouths, Ibiki Marino took his men to interrogate them. If these people do not reveal any information in the hands of the Anbu interrogation team, they will definitely be subjected to inhuman torture, which is not something that ordinary people can endure. These ninjas from the Land of the Sky were quickly taken away. Then a ninja stepped forward to report the losses. "Hokage-sama, Amarji-sama, some ninjas who came from nowhere destroyed some farmland outside Konoha, but fortunately, the buildings were not damaged and there were no casualties. Those farmland can be used again after rescue." The Anbu quickly investigated the destroyed areas and hurried to report. "Okay, I got it. Go on. Check the destroyed areas carefully. If there are any injured, rescue them as soon as possible." Tsunade immediately gave the order. "Yes." Several shadows disappeared in front of Tsunade. After the Anbu left, Tsunade frowned. "I heard that during the Second Human War, a kind of ninja named Sky Ninja appeared. As soon as they appeared, they used special attack methods to cause losses to the 5 major countries, but in the end, the ninjas of Konoha defeated them all and drove them out. What I didn't expect was that they still have descendants and are now attacking Konoha." Tsunade frowned, obviously angry. They should have come here when the village's defenses were empty after the ghosts were released, and all the ninjas of Konoha went to the front line to resist the ghost soldiers. Unfortunately, after they learned this information, although they rushed all the way here, they had already missed the best time to attack. To attack Konoha now is really courting death. Tianyu looked at the gliders that fell to the ground and smiled. Tianyu felt that these people were simply overestimating their own abilities. What qualifications do they have to think that they can defeat Konoha with these ordinary abilities of attacking from the air? Konoha now has the 1st and 2nd generation Hokage. Senju Hoshirama is the god of ninjas, and Senju Tobirama can even invent all kinds of forbidden techniques. And his strength is also extremely strong. Although Konoha has already executed a large number of Anbu en route, its fundamental strength has not been lost at all. Instead, it has become stronger than before, and its cohesion is stronger than before. The 3 ninjas of Konoha have all returned to Konoha, plus some of the dead men secretly cultivated by Orochimaru. Konoha is much stronger now than when the 3rd Hokage was in power. It has to be said that these people came here just to seek death. I didn't expect that even these small characters would dare to seek revenge on Konoha now. Senju Hashirama frowned. In the era when he was still alive, Konoha always said what it meant. It would not oppress other villages, but if anyone dared to take revenge on Konoha, it would definitely be completely eradicated. There is no way. Who let this village have other people in power after the death of the great-grandfather and the second grandfather? Tsunade also said helplessly. Alice, monkey. Senju Hashirama heard this and sighed helplessly. Monkey was a good boy back then. But later, I don't know why he took such an extreme path. To be honest, Senju Hashirama really felt a little sorry. The most urgent task now is to find out the location of their base camp from those ninjas in the Kingdom of the Sky. Revenge on Konoha would have to pay a price. Tianyu certainly knew that this was a plot in the original work. At that time, Konoha was in ruins after Pain destroyed Konoha. The ninjas also suffered heavy casualties, so there was no extra manpower to defend against the attack from the Sky Country. This led to the entire village being bombed and bruised. There were a lot of economic and personnel losses. And there was a big conspiracy behind this matter. Zero Tail. This monster, which is not counted among the tailed beasts, also has extremely powerful power. Well, now we just have to wait for the results of the Anbu interrogation team to come out. Tsunade also nodded. Tsunade-sama, Aim-sama, our liaison team received a letter for help from the Sand Village, and they were also attacked by the ninjas from the Sky Country. Shizune hurried over with a letter written by Temari. And Kakashi's. Might Guy also received a letter written by Kakashi and brought it over. The two people's letters had similar contents, both saying that the Sand Village was also attacked by the Sky Country. However, before Aim-sama could finish reading the 2 letters and react, the Water Country's letter for help has also arrived. After reading the Water Country's letter for help, Tianyu sneered. It seems that this Saranogo is really bold. It's not enough to provoke Konoha, but instead provoked everyone from the other 5 major countries. I have to say that they really have the capital, or they are so empty-headed that they have forgotten how to write the word death. Tianyu laughed. Chapter 381 Heading to the Sand Village. Who knows, but now they have asked us for help, so we have to pay attention. Tianyu, I suggest you take some people to the Sand Village first. Gaara and we have a better relationship, and we have just formed an alliance there, so I will let Might Guy take a team to rescue them, and I will also bring them some relief supplies. Tsunade looked at Tianyu and couldn't help saying. Tsunade's words were a bit righteous, as if she was thinking about Tianyu, but in fact Tsunade didn't want Tianyu to see Terumi Mei. Tsunade had seen that woman Terumi Mei once on her way to travel around the world. She was beautiful and had a good figure, almost comparable to him. And that guy was also a marriage maniac. Every time he was either on a blind date or on the way to a blind date. Tianyu was so outstanding that every time he went out on a mission, he would bring him a lot of rivals. Hinata Hyuga was fine, after all, she was a member of the Hyuga clan, and Tsunade could tolerate it, but Terumi Mei couldn't. She would never allow it. Okay, no problem. Tianyu nodded. Tianyu had no idea about Tsunade's little thoughts. But if he was left to his own devices, he would go directly to the Sand Village. He knew the situation in the village very well. If the international attack was controlled, Gaara and the others would not be able to withstand it. Then Naruto, Shikamaru and I will go. In addition, let Sakura take a pair of medical ninjas to the Sand Village for rescue. In the village, let Yuhi Kurenai, Sarutobi Asuma and other senior ninjas prepare for defense. If those who have been controlled dare to come again, they must be killed. Tianyu looked at them and said. Yes. Everyone nodded. Brother Tianyu, what happened before? What happened to those ninjas? Naruto ran over from the street and asked hurriedly. He originally planned to eat a Ichiriko ramen and then go for training after eating, but he didn't expect that this situation would happen. Although those ninjas had been beaten back. But everyone was in a panic. Even Naruto was no exception. Nothing, there are just some ninjas who want to attack Konoha, but we have already repelled them. Don't worry, Naruto, go find Shikamaru, and then come with me to the Sand Village to help. Tianyu said. Has the Sand Village also been attacked by the controlling country? Oh my god, I'll go now. Naruto was stunned for a moment when he heard this, then turned around and went to the street, and pulled Shikamaru, who was still investigating over there. When Shikamaru arrived at the Hokage's office, he was already exhausted. "Shianayu-sama, Hokage-sama." Shikamaru panted and saluted Shianayu and Tsunade. "Okay, get up. The Sand Village has asked us for help. Because of this attack, they suffered heavy losses. I plan to take you and Naruto to check the situation there first, and then Zioing will lead a team of medical ninjas to help. You go back and pack up, and then we will leave immediately." Shianayu said. "Yes." Shikamaru turned around and left after hearing this. Naruto also went back to pack up quickly. "Shianayu, there must be a conspiracy behind the large-scale attack by the Kingdom of Sky. You have to be careful and don't fall for their tricks." Tsunade also hurriedly warned. Although she also knew that Shianayu would never be fooled. But it's better to be on the safe side. "I know, strengthen the management of industry. Oh, by the way, if a doctor named Shannon appears among the civilians who treat the wounded, quickly send the Anbu to control him." Shianayu nodded. Then he said as if he thought of something. "Shannon, I seem to have heard of this name. He is a doctor who has recently traveled to the 5 major countries. His medical skills seem to be very good and he has saved a lot of people. Is there something wrong with him?" Tsunade was stunned when she heard this. Because Shannon's reputation outside is really good and he has saved many people. If he is arrested without definite evidence, it will also be a blow to Konoha's reputation. "Yes, but if it is for the sake of Konoha's reputation, monitor him after discovery and don't take action for the time being." Shianayu nodded. "Okay." Tsunade nodded. After talking to the master, Shianayu also quickly rushed back home to pack up. "Brother, what happened this time? Those ninjas came and everyone was panicked." Tiantian looked at Shianayu and couldn't help asking. "Nothing, it's not a big deal, it will be solved soon. Just tell everyone that Konoha will always protect you, and then continue training and work hard to make yourself stronger." Shianayu rubbed Tiantian's bun and smiled. "Well, I haven't been lazy at all in the recent training, and I will definitely complete it seriously, but brother, you have been on missions for a long time recently, and you don't have time to accompany me and Hinata." Tiantian felt a little wronged. She wanted to go back to the old days, when she could go home to cook dinner after training. Then the family sat at the dining table and had a warm meal. "I want to, but there is no way. There are many things going on in Konoha village now, and all kinds of things are mixed together. I basically don't have time to accompany you, but you have to believe me, Tiantian, when these things are resolved, the whole world will become peaceful. By then, you can accompany you in any way you want." Shianayu said with a smile. "Well, I believe my brother." Tiantian couldn't help but laugh. "Shianayu, you must be careful this time." Hinata looked at Shianayu and said while biting her lip. She was a little shy, but more worried. "Don't worry, nothing will happen." Shianayu smiled. "Yes." Hinata nodded. After Shikamaru and Naruto packed up their things, the 3 of them set out for the Sand Village together. The 3 of them were very fast and set out all the way to the Sand Village. It took a day and half a day to get there. When they arrived at the border of the Wind Country, they could see villages destroyed by the ninjas of the Sky Country along the way. The people in them were displaced. There were heavy casualties. Looking at these people, Naruto's expression was very solemn. "Brother Shianayu, if they did that just to retaliate against the 5 major countries, then they only needed to bomb the villages of the 5 major countries. Why did they attack these civilian villages?" Naruto felt very uncomfortable. He really felt very uncomfortable. Chapter 382 Shannon. "Naruto, don't think about it. This is how the world is. Besides, even if the Kingdom of the Sky comes for revenge, their goal is to rule the entire ninja world. If this is the case, the world will be ignited with war. It will happen sooner or later. What we can do now is to quickly find the base camp of the ninjas of the Control Kingdom and then catch them all in one fell swoop." Tianyu said. To be honest, Tianyu did feel a little sorry when he saw these people suffering. But that was all. After all, the Akatsuki organization has not been resolved yet, and there is no real understanding between the 5 major countries. Konoha's current influence can affect the Sand Village of the Wind Country, and Gaara will listen to him. Tirumi Mei and the Mist Village should also listen to him. But the Rock Village and the Cloud Village are still hostile to Konoha. Especially in the Cloud Village, the 4th generation of Raikage has been eyeing the Byakugan. He tried to take Hinata away many times, and Tianyu will settle this account with the Cloud Village sooner or later. As for the Rock Village, he hired the Akatsuki organization many times to launch attacks on other small countries. This kind of thing cannot be easily turned over. Yes, definitely. Naruto nodded. By the way, Shikamaru, I told you before to let Sai go to investigate the traces of those ninjas in the land of the sky. How is he doing? Shikamaru asked. It should be almost done. His ninjutsu can detect in the sky and can also detect changes in the first time. So if he has any information, he should contact us in the first time. Shikamaru replied. Okay, let's go. Shikamaru nodded. Several people set out again. This time they quickly arrived at the Sands village. The situation of the Sands village is not much better than those small villages. Most of the buildings have collapsed. Some of them, even if they have not collapsed, have become dangerous buildings and can no longer be lived in. But fortunately, the Sand village is in the desert, and it is not very cold. They can be placed in tents and canopies. The injured were arranged in the only remaining intact rooms. Garchiyo, Temari and Kankuro, they were all busy. Kakashi and the Konoha ninjas were also trying their best to treat the wounded. But a city is too big. Even though they tried so hard to rescue, many people were trapped under the buildings and could not get immediate treatment. They could only die helplessly. Facing this scene, Gaara and the others were also very sad. But there was no solution. Naruto, go and help rescue people quickly. I have something to say to Gaara. Shikamaru saw this situation and immediately asked Naruto to rescue. Yes. Naruto nodded and directly used the shadow clone to separate hundreds of people. They ran around the city. After sending Naruto away, Shikamaru sat down with Gaara, Kakashi and the others. Tell me, what exactly is going on with this attack? Shikamaru asked directly. These ninjas attacked in the evening, when the village's defense was weakest. They started from the periphery, but by the time they got inside, it was too late. The bombing was still going on, and no one had any means to counter it. Although Gaara went up and killed some people, he also destroyed the gliders they used to fly in the air. But those ninjas who fell to the ground, if they were still alive, they would immediately bite the poison sac in their mouths to commit suicide and would not let us know any news. Judging from their chakra, they should have a base not far from here, but there are no flying pursuit ninjas on the Sands village side, so until now we haven't found out where the base is. But they clearly have the ability to completely destroy the Sand village, but they didn't do that. There must be a bigger conspiracy behind it. Kakashi sorted out the situation yesterday and reported it to Shikamaru. Yes, what Kakashi said is basically correct, and I can also feel that their strength is very poor. It is basically relying on the equipment on them that they can beat us like this. If it were ninjas on land, they would be vulnerable. Gaara also crossed his arms and supplemented Kakashi's words. After all, those ninjas couldn't even withstand Gaara's attack, and of course they couldn't be specially trained Jonin or Chunin. It seems that they really want to launch a large-scale attack against ninjas. It's really a bit ridiculous. When the demons of the Demon Kingdom came out, when the world of the Demon Kingdom disappeared, the ninjas of the Sky Kingdom came. If you say there is no connection between the two, I really don't believe it. It seems that the Sky Kingdom originally wanted to take advantage of everyone dealing with the ghost soldiers to attack us. But unfortunately, the ghost soldiers have already been dealt with by us. Shikamaru sneered. That's basically it. Gaara said. Don't panic, Konoha's medical ninja team will be here soon. If the ninjas that we have controlled during this period may attack again, I will make them come and never return. Wait for the information from Sonya and others, and the people who reveal their true colors will automatically appear in front of us. Shikamaru sneered. What? No one could understand what Shikamaru meant. But this did not prevent Shikamaru from carrying out his plan. While Shikamaru was talking to Gaara and others, Naruto had already saved a lot of people. But when Naruto lifted a fallen beam, the breath of the man who was originally pressed began to become weak. His face was also red, and it was obvious that he was about to suffocate to death. What should I do? What should I do? Naruto looked at the patient and was obviously a little panicked. He wanted to pick up the villager and quickly find a doctor. Stop, if you don't want him to die. Someone called Naruto. Hey, who are you? Naruto looked at the man who called him. The man had white hair and wore a dark red dress. He looked very kind. This look almost made Naruto believe him immediately. I am a doctor. If you move him now, he will die. After the man said this, he took out the scalpel he carried with him and stabbed the man's chest without hesitation. Blood spurted out immediately. Chapter 383 The Mastermind. Naruto was stunned for a moment. But soon he found that the man lying on the ground, although he was still frowning in pain. But his breathing had become much more stable, and his originally red face had long since calmed down. It seems that he should be fine. The man said. Wow, you are so amazing. Naruto was a little surprised to see this scene. It's nothing, this is just the most basic duty of a doctor. Send the person to the rescue station quickly. I have to rescue more people next. The man waved his hand nonchalantly and planned to leave. But Naruto wanted to say something, but when he looked up, he found that the man was gone. He had no choice but to quickly send the injured back to the rescue station. At this time, Sakura had already arrived at the Sand Village with Konoha's medical ninja. Temari and Kankuro were busy here. Naruto, the injuries of the injured you sent over have been treated, very perfect. Do you know who that person is? Sakura looked at the wounds of these people and asked in surprise. Because Sakura knew that Naruto would never treat their wounds. It was an uncle, he didn't look very old, and his medical skills were really great. Naruto answered without hesitation. But before Sakura could speak, a child ran into the tent. It must be Shannon Teacher, only Shannon Teacher has such medical skills. Where have you seen Shannon Teacher? The child looked at Naruto and asked anxiously. Shannon, so he is Shannon. But I remember that Tianyu's elder brother said that if we find Shannon, we should immediately, as soon as possible, ask him to treat the injured. Sakura interrupted Naruto's words that were about to blurt out. Hearing this, Naruto seemed to know that he had made some mistakes, so he stopped talking. Yes, Shannon Teacher is the most powerful doctor. My village was also attacked by those sudden ninjas last night, right at the border of the Land of Fire. The village is now suffering heavy casualties. Now I remember that Shannon Teacher came to my village and found the seriously injured people in our village. The child looked at everyone and said. This. Sakura was still hesitating. But the man named Shannon had already appeared in front of them. If there are injured people, then I must go there. Where is your village? Shannon looked at her and asked. It's on the border of the Land of Fire. And have you forgotten? I am your eldest disciple. The child said hurriedly. Oh, Liu, right. Shannon said as if he just remembered something. Yes, it's me. Liu nodded hurriedly after hearing this. Okay, then let's go now, but it is very likely that we will encounter attacks from those special ninjas along the way. I hope this young man can go with us. Shannon turned around and looked at Naruto and said with a smile. Me? If I want to go, I have to ask brother Tianyu first. Naruto was stunned for a moment. Okay, then go ahead. I believe he will agree to you. Shannon said with a smile. Well, Naruto didn't know what their conversation meant at the moment. After talking to Shannon, Naruto went directly to the Kazakage office. Brother Tianyu. Tianyu was discussing with Gaara how to rebuild the village. In the current situation, the daimyo of the Wind Country is only willing to provide 30% of the aid, and the rest of the money depends on the Sand Village. The village can only provide 30% of its own finances, but the remaining 40% has not yet been settled. Add to that the resettlement costs of the injured villagers and the death pensions. Add up to an astronomical figure. So Gaara is discussing with Tianyu whether they can get a loan or something. In this way, the pressure on the Sand Village can be slightly relieved. At this time, Naruto rushed in. What's wrong, Naruto? You are so reckless. Tianyu glanced at Naruto and said. Although he was teaching a lesson, he did not blame Naruto for anything. No, brother Tianyu, you said in the village before that Shannon, who is under surveillance by the Anbu, has now appeared in the Sand Village, and a child has also appeared. The child's village was also attacked by those ninjas last night, so the child wants Shannon to go to their village to treat them. Shannon agreed, and also wants me to go with him. Naruto said directly. Then you can go with him, and by the way, take Shikamaru with you. Tianyu smiled and looked at Naruto and said. Alice, but brother Tianyu, didn't you say before that if Shenlong was found, the Anbu would monitor him? Then why do you want me to go with you now? Naruto was a little confused. After all, in his eyes, Shannon is indeed a good person who treats and saves people. But brother Tianyu never wrongly accuses a bad person. So for a moment, Naruto was a little confused about what was going on. Nothing. I originally said that if Shannon came, I would ask him to treat illnesses and save people. After all, you know Chihirachi's physical condition. If we can have more confidence, it would be good, but now there are other villages that need Shannon more than us, so of course we should go. Shikamaru, you must help Naruto on the way, and thank Shannon for me. Shianai looked at Shikamaru and said, Yes, Lord Shianai, I will definitely convey your meaning to Shannon. Shikamaru nodded. So that's the case, then I'm relieved. Shikamaru, let's go. Naruto heard this and left here with Shikamaru without hesitation. After Naruto and Shikamaru left, Gaara stepped forward. That person named Shannon should be a little weird. Gaara looked at Shianai and asked. Yes, he is the mastermind behind the attack on the Kingdom of Sky this time. Shianai said without hesitation. What, then, why don't you arrest him quickly and interrogate the whereabouts of the people who controlled the old nest? As long as those people are still in this world, they will cause danger to us. Kinjiro heard this and said hurriedly. I think Lord Shianai must have his own considerations, such as the conspiracy behind him. It is indeed a good idea to arrest Shannon, but in this way, the things behind him will not be revealed, and there may be even greater chaos in the future. Chapter 384 Play. Gaara said the same thing after hearing Kankuro's words. Alice, it would be great if Naruto could understand what I said as well as you do. Shianai looked at Gaara and Kankuro and said helplessly. This sentence did not directly respond to Gaara's words, but it also confirmed Gaara's answer. I see, then Lord Shianai, if there is anything we need to do, just leave it to me. I will definitely do it well. As for those ninjas from the land of the sky, I must tear them into pieces. There are heavy casualties in the village. Those people are all living lives. Kankuro said with gritted teeth. When he went to rescue before, he saw a little girl lying on the street with her face blown to pieces. Kankuro knew the little girl. His mother sold soba noodles. The little girl wanted to be a ninja. She has been working hard to enter the ninja school of the Sand Village. After seeing it for a long time, every time he saw the little girl, she would smile and say a few words to him to encourage him. However, because of the control of the ninja's attack, this little girl who could have entered the ninja school had lost her life at the age of 7. There were many more people who were the same. The auntie selling fruits on the street, the uncle who would say a few words to him every time he walked past, and the girl who liked Gaara and wanted him to help deliver a love letter. They all died in the attack of the Kingdom of Sky. If he didn't take revenge for such hatred, he simply didn't deserve to be a man. Don't worry, there will be things for you to do, but now is not the time. Sakura has brought Konoha's medical ninjas. The top priority now is to rescue these wounded as soon as possible. The loan we agreed on before, I will send it to you as soon as possible after I return to Konoha. Now I'm going to see what conspiracy Shannon has. You just stay here. Shianai looked at Kanjiro and said. Okay. Kanjiro and Gaara nodded. Then the two of them went to work on their things. Shianai followed behind Naruto silently. Uncle Shannon, Brother Shianai has agreed to let me go with you, but Shikamaru is also going with me, so let's set off now. Naruto looked at Shannon and the child and said. Okay, let's go. The four of them set off together. They were walking towards the border of the Land of Fire. Yuliu, tell me about your village. Shikamaru looked at Yuliu and asked with a smile. My village is not big, and there are many villagers living there. Although they all treat me as an orphan, I know they are unintentional, and that villager also takes good care of me. Since I followed Shannon teacher to learn medical skills, I have always wanted to become a person like Shannon teacher, using my medical skills to help all those who deserve help. Yuliu said without hesitation. Well, I was almost dying of illness at the time, and it was Shannon teacher who saved me. At that time, I originally told Yamandong teacher that I wanted to be a ninja, but Shannon teacher told me that there are not only knives that kill people in this world, but also knives that save people, so I want to be a doctor. Yuliu told her everything without hesitation. It can be seen that this is a girl who trusts others very easily. As long as that person shows some kindness to her, then this girl will repay with the greatest kindness. I see, it seems that you are really a kind person. Shikamaru smiled. Then, Mr. Shannon, you have such superb medical skills, where did you learn it from? Shikamaru asked curiously. Well, this can be regarded as a family tradition. My father is a doctor, and I have some talent in this field, so I can go further. However, The ninja world has become very chaotic now. When you walk here today, there may be a small village here, but when you come back a week later, this small village may have been destroyed. Konoha should have had a big change long before, but since then, Konoha has become more prosperous and thriving. I heard that all this was achieved because of the appearance of a person, right? Shannon smiled and answered Shikamaru's question, then turned around and talked to Naruto. That's right. The crisis of the village was indeed resolved because of Brother Tianyu. You simply don't know how powerful Brother Tianyu is. In my heart, Brother Tianyu is the most powerful person. No matter what kind of opponent he encounters, he can solve it. Just like when we solved the monster in the underground palace before, although the final sealing of the monster depends on Shi and Maiko, if it weren't for Brother Tianyu, we would not be able to complete that task. And, Brother Tianyu's moves are too gorgeous, and... Enough, Naruto, don't say that anymore. Although Lord Tianyu is very powerful, it's always bad for you to brag like this. After hearing what Naruto said, Shikamaru interrupted Naruto with a smile. Okay, but Uncle Shannon, what I said is not a lie, but it's true that Brother Tianyu is really powerful. Naruto's face was full of admiration when he talked about Tianyu. Shikamaru looked at Naruto and felt a headache. This guy, when asked a question, he directly confessed all his details. It really makes people feel a little headache. Fortunately, what Naruto said was known to everyone, so it was nothing. But Shikamaru felt a little strange. The Shannon in front of him seemed to be particularly interested in the affairs of Lord Tianyu. Could it be his illusion? Who said that? Teacher Shannon is the best. He not only taught me medical skills, but also told me that there are things in this world that are more important than ninjas and fighting. Your brother Tianyu can never compare to him. After hearing this, Yuliu was unwilling to be outdone and argued with Naruto. Who said that? Brother Tianyu is the best. Naruto heard this and said it back. So the two of them quarreled directly on the road. This made Shikamaru and Shannon even more helpless. But fortunately, because of this episode in the middle, Shannon could no longer mention anything related to Tianyu. This is actually a good thing. Tianyu has been following behind them. Seeing this scene, he also sighed slightly. Sure enough, Naruto is still too immature now. He still needs experience. And Shikamaru. Although Shikamaru did a good job. But I guess Shikamaru's words should have made Shannon notice the changes. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelist. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 385 Shannon is dead? Then, he would watch a good show. Naruto and the other four continued to head to the village. But the black smoke in the distance made Yuliu feel a little heavy. He ignored everyone's dissuasion and hurried to the direction of the village. There was a fire burning fiercely. The building had collapsed. The fire had been burning for a while, and the scorching temperature made the surrounding trees turn yellow and burned into charcoal black. No, this is not true, everyone is still alive. Yuliu couldn't believe it. She walked through the village, trying desperately to find the traces of the villagers. But she accidentally touched the mechanism. In a flash, Yuliu was saved. But when he came to his senses, he found that Shinlong's body was full of shurikens. No, Teacher Shannon. Hearing Yuliu's cry, Naruto and Shikamaru also hurried to Shannon's side. When they saw the shurikens on Shannon's body, both of them were silent. Because they knew that such injuries were too serious and there was no way to survive. It looks like I'm going to die, but I don't regret saving you. You will always be my most outstanding disciple. Take this and inherit my legacy to heal the sick and save people. Blood flowed from the corner of Shannon's mouth. He put the gold in Yuliu's hand with trembling hands and told his last words. No, Shannon teacher. Yuliu cried bitterly. But Shannon's body was slowly getting colder. Obviously, he was dead. No, Shannon teacher. Yuliu shouted. But Shannon still died. Naruto looked at this scene and felt a little sad. It was sad that a doctor who healed and saved people died like this. But Shikamaru frowned. This mechanism was too coincidental. It was as if the appearance of this mechanism was a play specially performed for them. There was a feeling of unreality. But the body of Shannon in front of him was really dead, not pretended by the substitute technique. This made Shikamaru a little confused. What was going on? Tianyu had been watching this scene in secret. When he saw Shennon's death, he sneered. This guy has to say that his escape technique is really good. No one would doubt that a dead person would want to harm the world. It's just a pity. If Tianyu didn't know Shennon's plan, he would probably be deceived by him. But now Tianyu already knows what he wants to do, so he won't be deceived. But he still wants to see what this guy wants to do. Anyway, it's a good show. Hiss. A snake hissed at Tianyu's feet. Tianyu frowned, and then looked at the venomous snake at his feet. How come this venomous snake looks so similar to Orochimaru's snake? Tianyu frowned. But before he had time to check the venomous snake, he saw the venomous snake explode by itself. And his blood formed a line of big words in the air. Shannon has completed the turning technique. If possible, please bring this turning technique back. It will be used in the experiment, Orochimaru. Looking at this line of small words, Tianyu suddenly felt a little helpless. This Orochimaru, if there is anything, why not just tell him directly, but he has to do this kind of tricks. It seems that I have to teach him a lesson later, don't do these tricks. But in this way, Tianyu figured out that Shannon Weho dared to die with his own body. It turned out that he had already completed the turning technique. He is really an old fox who hides well. Tianyu no longer hesitated. He hid his figure in the dark again. He began to monitor Naruto and others quietly. In the forest. The fire in the village has been extinguished. This village, which originally lived in the forest on the border of the land of fire and lived in peace with the world, has long ceased to exist. They saw the remains of many villagers. It is basically difficult for these corpses to be intact. It seems that they were all blown to death by those ninjas from the land of sky. The death was miserable. Naruto and Shikamaru showed an expression of pity when they saw these corpses. After Shannon died, Yuliu did not accept the help of Naruto and Shikamaru. Instead, he dug a pit by himself and buried Shannon. Then he ran directly into the forest. Rain sulfur. Naruto was worried about the girl's safety and hurriedly chased after her. Naruto. Shikamaru was about to stop Naruto when he saw that Naruto had already run away. This guy is always reckless. If there are enemies inside, you will be fooled. Shikamaru failed to catch up with Naruto and shook his head. Nothing serious should happen in this village. And Naruto is not a person who can't protect himself. He can completely solve the troubles he encounters. If he can't solve it, he can tell Master Tianyu. Watching Naruto run into the forest, Shikamaru no longer hesitated and began to check the village. He felt that this village was a bit strange just now. Some of the road layouts didn't look like people lived here at all, but rather like the remains of something. And there were few signs of life here. People didn't seem to live here, but rather like they were offering sacrifices to something. As for the corpses, their clothes were also very special. They were not dressed like the villagers of the Fire Country, nor the villagers of the Wind Country. Instead, they looked like some ancient and mysterious country. The clothes they wore were also somewhat special. However, the patterns were broken, and it was impossible to tell where they came from. Very strange, everything here is very strange. Shikamaru muttered to himself. It didn't look like there were any signs of human habitation here, but a corpse appeared here. This was a very strange thing in itself. After checking the surrounding environment, Shikamaru had almost explored it. He looked at the thick fog in the distance. Naruto had just chased Yuliu in. He hadn't come back yet. In order to prevent Naruto from getting into trouble, Shikamaru thought about it and chased into the thick fog. Tianyu had already followed Naruto. In the white thick fog, everything seemed to be trapped in a thick fog. Naruto chased Yuliu. But slowly he lost his track. Yuliu, come out quickly, where are you? Naruto called his name. Naruto. Brother Tianyu, why are you here? Naruto heard Tianyu's words and turned around in a hurry. After seeing Tianyu, Naruto's face finally looked better. I received some information related to Shannon, so I came here because I was a little worried about you. What's going on? Why are you in the thick fog? Tianyu wanted to ask something else. Chapter 386 Zero Tail appears. They saw that Yuliu had appeared in front of them without knowing when. Yuliu. Where have you been? I'm really worried about you. Naruto was about to go forward to pull him over and take him to a safe place. The next second, Naruto saw Yuliu raise his head. His eyes had turned red. I am Zero Tail. When the world is full of war and darkness grows in people's hearts, I will be resurrected. Yuli looked at them and said such a thing. But this sentence made Naruto a little confused. Because he really didn't know why Yuli would say such a thing. Brother Tianyu. Naruto raised his head and looked at Tianyu. No matter what happened, Tianyu would not panic and could always find a way to solve the problem. This time, Yuli became like this. Naruto thought that Tianyu would also come up with a solution. I will devour the darkness in my heart, be born and grow infinitely, so that this world will be dominated by darkness. Yuli did not answer. Instead, he continued to say what he wanted to say. At this time, Yuli also showed the appearance of Zero Tail. It was a monster that looked like a snake. There was a zero carved on his huge head. What is this? Naruto was stunned when he saw the huge monster. He really couldn't believe that Yuli could turn into such a monster. Back off. Tianyu frowned when he saw Zero Tail appear. Then he held the high Orinmaru in both hands and took a step forward. The high Orinmaru chopped down instantly. Roar. Zero Tail roared. A section of his tail was directly broken off. And when that section of the tail fell to the ground, it turned into corrosive liquid and disappeared. Your target should be Naruto, but since I appear here, you will never succeed. Tianyu held the high Orinmaru and looked at Zero Tail and said, Damn it, why are you here? You should have been delayed by the air strike force. Zero Tail looked at Tianyu. He really couldn't figure it out. He had clearly sent those ninjas from the Kingdom of the Sky to attack the Sand Village. So Tianyu should have been delayed there. How could he come to save Naruto? Do you think I can't see through your trick of luring the tiger away from the mountain, Zero Tail? No, it should be Shannon. Tianyu directly and mercilessly exposed the true identity of the Zero Tail in front of him. What, brother Tianyu, what are you talking about? How could this monster in front of you be Uncle Shannon? Naruto really couldn't believe it. Uncle Shannon was so compassionate, he saved many people, and even sacrificed his life to save Yuli. But the monster in front of him was extremely evil, and in order to fight for power, he didn't hesitate to kill so many people. And he wanted to get the power of the Nine Tail in his body to destroy the world and let the whole world fall into darkness. The difference between the two is really too huge. Naruto, sometimes you have to learn to distinguish who is really good and who is a hypocrite. He may be a really good person on the surface, but secretly he's a hypocrite who does all kinds of bad things. Tianyu looked at Naruto and said, This. Naruto was stunned for a moment. Although he still didn't quite understand it. But he knew that what Brother Tianyu said must be correct. Since Brother Tianyu said that the monster Zero Tail in front of him was Shannon, then it must be true. In other words, he was the one who destroyed this village, right? Naruto was stunned. He thought of Yuli. Yuli believed that Shannon would save his village and his companions in the village. But who knew that Shannon was the culprit who killed those people in his village? This is fundamentally unbelievable, okay? Shannon is just a shell I use to travel the world. Isn't kindness what you advocate? As long as I become a doctor and use my own power to save people, I will quickly gain everyone's trust. In this way, I can do many things that other identities cannot do, such as obtaining intelligence, collecting information, and even developing some forbidden techniques. I can do all these. And Yuli is just one of the people I use. He is too naive and easy to deceive. He really thinks I am Shannon who cures diseases and saves people. I originally wanted to use him to lead you to this village and then seize the power of the nine-tailed fox in your body, but I didn't expect that the little devil also followed. In desperation, I had to temporarily escape and asked you to lead it here, but I didn't expect that I was still careless. You were actually accompanied by Konoha's Tianyu. And his power is so strong. Zero Tail gritted his teeth. Of course, he didn't expect Tianyu's power to be so strong. Just a face-to-face encounter, he had already cut off his tail. When this guy talked about this matter, Naruto understood it thoroughly. He remembered. Shannon has been asking about Konoha and the strength of Brother Tianyu all the way. Naruto didn't think it was a big deal at that time, but now it seems that he did it for a purpose. He wanted to know the true strength of Brother Tianyu, so that he would have an idea in his mind. At the same time, he also wanted to know about Konoha. Thinking about these things now, Naruto is a little scared. Fortunately, Shikamaru stopped him in time, otherwise he would really tell all the secrets of Konoha. It seems that he must change this habit of speaking without restraint in the future. Otherwise, he will really be used by others. Go away, if your real body comes, you may be able to fight with me for a while, But now you are only sending a part of your strength. If you continue, you can only be killed by me. Tianyu looked at the Zero Tail in front of him and said, "Humph." Zero Tail also knew that he could not be a match for Tianyu. So he disappeared directly. The possessed monster disappeared. Yu fell to the ground instantly. Yu. Naruto rushed over and picked him up. Naruto, why? Yu shed tears. His body was controlled just now, but his consciousness was always clear. So he heard everything that Tianyu and the monster said. He didn't expect that the village was killed by his respected teacher. He originally thought that this teacher would save his village name, but he didn't expect that the one who killed his village name was actually this teacher. And his teacher actually wanted to use him to take the 9 tails in Naruto's body. If it weren't for Tianyu's timely arrival. Chapter 387, Underground Ruins Appear. Maybe Naruto will be killed. He couldn't believe it. His faith collapsed. Yuli, don't be like this. Shannon is not a good person, so you don't have to be sad for him. As long as we cheer up, everything will be fine. Now even brother Tianyu is here, everything will be fine. Naruto looked at Yuli and persuaded. No, I don't know. I don't know what to do. Yuli cried silently. He was now in extreme self-blame. He couldn't speak soberly anymore. Lord Tianyu, Naruto, how are you? Shikamaru rushed over from the direction of the village. After arriving here, he noticed the icy fluctuations in the air. Obviously, this was the power that Tianyu had already used. It's okay. Although the matter has not been resolved, it will soon be better. Let's go back first. Tianyu looked at Naruto and Shikamaru and said, okay. Shikamaru looked at Naruto, then at Yuli who was still crying. He turned and left. When the monster disappeared, the fog around it also disappeared. Everyone saw a ruin in the center of the village. In that ruin, an extremely evil energy was released. It seems that Zero Tail should be there. Brother Tianyu, it's all my fault. I trusted others too easily, which led to the current situation. If I could think more about things when I encountered them, it wouldn't be like this. Naruto blamed himself very much. He thought that this incident and the current situation were all caused by him. This matter is not your fault, don't take it on yourself. If someone is deliberately calculating against you, then he will calculate against you no matter what, and no matter how you prevent it, it will be useless. Tianyu looked at Naruto and comforted him. But brother Tianyu, can I really live up to your trust? Several incidents were caused by me, Naruto was a little unconfident. Because compared with other people, he seemed to have not improved at all except for his strength. Even Shikamaru could see that there was something wrong with Shannon. But he didn't see it. If it was Sasuke, would he be able to do better than him? What are you talking about? I've already said it before, don't underestimate yourself, let's go. Tianyu looked at Naruto and said. After saying this, Tianyu dragged Naruto towards the village. Shikamaru followed. Yuli was also walking slowly. In the ruins. Shannon has returned to the ruins. Although he failed to obtain the 9 tails chakra, and also learned of Tianyu's true strength. But he did not back down. He believed that his own strength was enough to deal with Tianyu. After biting his finger and outlining a special symbol on the ground, purple light shot up into the sky. Almost at that moment, the surrounding ground began to tremble. What's going on? The trembling earth naturally affected Tianyu and the others. It seems that Shenlong can't wait to find death. Shikamaru, you take Naruto and Yuli and retreat to a safe place quickly. Tianyu pulled out a Hyorinmaru and was about to leave here. Okay. Shikamaru knew, of course, that if they stayed here they would only hinder Tianyu, so he didn't hesitate anymore and pulled Naruto and Yuli to leave. No, I can't leave. I must go find Master Shannon and ask him clearly. I must ask him why he had to kill everyone in the village. Yuli broke free from Shikamaru's hand, turned around, and ran towards the direction of the underground ruins. Yuli. Naruto looked at Yuli running over and shouted. Shikamaru, you should leave first, I'll go after him, otherwise, it will be very dangerous for him to be here alone. After Naruto said that, he also broke free from Shikamaru's hand and rushed over. Why are all of you so impulsive? Shikamaru was stunned when he saw this, and felt a little angry. These two were not obedient. It really made people a little angry. But no matter how angry he was, Shikamaru still knew that if he was allowed to enter the ruins, he would have no way to do it relying on his own strength. So he turned around and left without hesitation. And when Shikamaru just left, the ground at the place cracked directly. Everyone saw that the ruins hidden under the ground rose directly into the air. Countless spires appeared. The ruins were slowly rising into the air, like a huge city fortress. It looked extremely huge. It was shocking in the sky. What's going on? Shikamaru was shocked. On the sea, the attack of the Kingdom of the Sky on Soi and his men is still going on. Soi has collected enough information and is returning. He has written the information he has collected into a scroll and sent it to Kakashi, Might Guy and others. The weaknesses and strengths of the people of the Kingdom of the Sky have all been clearly written in the scroll. After Kakashi received the information, he immediately handed the information to Gaara. According to this information, we can fight back, Kakashi said to Gaara with a smile. Then do it. Gaara nodded silently. Behind him, the ninja team of the Sand Village has also been assembled. Although their Sand Village, the entire village has become not very powerful now. But if someone wants to use this to bully them, the end will be miserable. Let's go. Led by Temari, this group of teams set off for the fleet on the sea of the Control Country. On the other side, Might Guy also received the information sent by Sai. Lord Mizukage, it seems that we don't have to worry this time. Might Guy also handed the information to Madarumi. Madarumi took a close look at the content of the information and immediately laughed. It seems that collecting intelligence and doing these things is more suitable for you, Konoha. Chijiro, tell the ninja troops below that they don't have to endure it anymore, so I will go with you. This time we must teach those who dared to destroy our village a lesson. Madarumi said sternly. Yes. The ninjas below were waiting for this opportunity. After Madarumi said this, they followed Chijiro and rushed out. Then, Lord Mizukage, I will go to help next. After Might Guy said this, he also rushed out. Here in Iwagakure, although their village is very strong, they are also on guard against attacks from the ninjas of the Land of the Sky. With a powerful ninja of the level of Kage like the 2-star Inoki, Iwagakure has not encountered any danger for the time being. Chapter 388 The Tragedy of the Village. Wang Tu and Kuratsuchi had already assembled a group of ninja troops, ready to launch an attack on the fleets of the Kingdom of Sky on the sea at any time. Alice, it would be great if we could still hire the Akatsuki organization. If the Tsuchikage-sama knew about such a large-scale attack, he would definitely say that we were wasting money. Inoki shook his head helplessly. If they mobilized the ninja to deal with the ninjas of the Kingdom of Sky, their own ninjas would definitely suffer losses. The training of each ninja would consume countless resources. If he could exchange the smallest price for the greatest victory, he would certainly be willing. But unfortunately, the current Akatsuki organization probably no longer intends to participate in such missions. Grandpa, then we will set off. Kuratsuchi was very happy. Okay, go. 2 days scale Inoki nodded. Over at the Cloud Village. Although the ninjas of the Kingdom of Sky also went there, they were repelled by them. Most of the ninjas from the Land of the Sky are heading for Konoha. During the Second Ninja World War, although the 5 major countries all participated in the encirclement and suppression of the Land of the Sky, Konoha contributed the most. The ninjas from the Land of the Sky probably want to destroy Konoha the most. We just need to stop them and drive them to Konoha if possible. The 4th generation Raikage said to his subordinates. Yes. Everyone thought so. Let these ninjas from the Land of the Sky consume Konoha's power first. In this way, they can also reduce some pressure when dealing with Konoha in the future. But Lord Raikage, the ninjas from the route seem to have started to move around in the village recently. They seem to be provoking the relationship between the ninjas. How should we deal with them? Tianyu looked at the 4th generation Raikage and said. This is simple, just kill them. The 4th generation Lineage did not have any good feelings towards the members of the route who came from Muai. The disappearance of the Two-Tail also made him furious. Yes. Tianyu nodded. In the ruins. Tianyu originally planned to use the Great Red Lotus High or Inwan directly to completely destroy the ruins, in order to force out the Zero-Tail and kill it directly. However, Tianyu did not expect that Naruto and Yuliu also ran over. In this way, if the entire ruins were destroyed, they would both be injured. So Tianyu stopped this action. Didn't I tell you to follow Ouyang to a safe place? Why did you run up here? Don't you know that it is very dangerous here? Tianyu looked at the two of them and was a little angry. Brother Tianyu, I'm sorry, But I really can't let Yuliu run here alone. He has no ability to protect himself. If he comes up rashly, he will die. Naruto looked at Shinyu's anger and couldn't help but bow his head to apologize. I'm going to find Shannon to ask him clearly. I must ask him what's going on. Why did he kill those people in my village? Why did he use me? If there are really ruins hidden under our village, why have they been hidden for so many years? What is his purpose? I must ask these clearly, otherwise I will never give up. Yuli looked at Shyanyu and said. From the look of her, she really didn't intend to take anything into consideration. You are really a person. Obviously, that guy told everything, but if you must confront him, then go ahead, but please don't have a fluke mentality anymore, because that person obviously wants to destroy everything here, and he will destroy the entire 5 major countries. Shyanyu heard this and sighed helplessly. These people are like this every time, and they will not give up until they hit the south wall. Only when they face the pain directly can they understand the despair. Let's go. Shyanyu put away the ice ring pill. Lead the way for them in front. There are also many ninjas from the Kingdom of the Sky hidden in this ruins. The underground roads are interconnected, and if you are not careful, you may walk into the maze. You may even be discovered and killed by the ninjas of the Kingdom of Sky. There are also many traps hidden on the roads here. It seems that they are specially used to hunt those who accidentally break in. The 3 of them walked into a passage. They saw a woman lying in the passage, dying. Yuliu saw the woman and ran over with some surprise. The woman was from the village. He had picked flowers with her before, and they had also been taken care of by Shannon together. It was just a pity that in the end, who could choose to accept him as a disciple, and Mai was not chosen. Yuliu, it's you. The woman saw Yuliu coming over, raised her head with difficulty, and then smiled. It's me. What's wrong with you? Your injury. I will definitely heal you. Yuliu originally walked over with a smile, but when he saw the long knife wound on the woman's abdomen, he was stunned. Then he wanted to take out the scalpel on his body and sew up her wound. No, Yuliu, I'm already beyond help. You're just wasting time if you keep going like this. Listen to me, Yuliu, this place is very dangerous. You need to leave quickly. Shannon is not a good person. Everyone in the village has been deceived by him. Mai spit out a mouthful of blood. His breath became weaker. It was obvious that he would soon die. What on earth is going on, Mai? Tell me. Yuliu supported Mai. But in the end, he could only grab blood all over his hands. Shannon lied to us and told us that the ruins below our village are the guardians of the mountain god. If we offer sacrifices day and night, the mountain god will bless us. We also need to dig a hole in the cave on the mountain to let the mountain god appear. We agreed. Shannon also told us that all this must be done in secret and we must not tell anyone else. You are just an orphan picked up by the circle, so you don't know about us. But just when we were about to finish, the ninjas from the land of the sky attacked and killed most of the villagers. Only a small number of people escaped into the ruins. We met Shannon here and saw his so-called plan in his true face. He wanted to kill us. The village chief was killed to protect me from leaving, and I could not escape the fate of death. I fell into a trap here and am about to die. But fortunately, I was able to meet you before I died, so that I could tell you about Shannon's evil deeds. Leave quickly, otherwise we will all die. Mai said these words with her last breath, and then she was no longer alive. His body lay cold on the ground. No, Mai. Yuliu cried again when he saw Mai die. His eyes were wet with tears and he couldn't control his emotions. Chapter 389 Shannon's Ambition. Someone is coming, let's go. Cheyenne looked at all this and said nothing. It can be said that all the misfortunes of this village and your people were caused by themselves. It was they who believed in the illusory mountain god that caused their own death. It's just that all the people died, which is indeed a pity. Let's go, Yuliu, we have to leave quickly. Naruto forcibly pulled Yuliu and followed Shyanyu away. Yuliu did not resist, he was silently crying. What he saw and what Mai said were all there, impacting his cognition. In his eyes, Shannon was a very good teacher who loved life and saved others. But he didn't expect that he had done so many wrong things. He was simply an unforgivable guy. We're almost there. After Shyanyu led Naruto and the others through many roads, he finally found the main road. After killing all the ninjas who blocked the road, they walked to the center of the ruins. And on the seat in the center, Shannon was sitting there leisurely, watching them come in. His face did not change at all, as if he had known they were coming a long time ago. "Shannon, you are not dead yet." Yu Liu saw with his own eyes that Shannon was not dead, and his mood became extremely complicated. Especially his kind face was no different from before. This made Yu Liu a little dazed. "Of course I can't die. The regeneration technique has been completely practiced. As long as my heart is not pierced, I will live forever." Shannon looked at everyone and said without hesitation, "If that's the case, isn't it great? You can use your regeneration technique to benefit everyone, instead of wanting to kill everyone like you are now, and the people in this village, they all believe in you so much, but you just killed them all. You are simply a scumbag and don't deserve to be a human being." Naruto looked at the man in front of him and cursed. The man in front of him was simply a scumbag. No, he was worse than a scumbag. Needless to say, it's useless to reason with such a person. Tianyu looked at the Shannon in front of him and thought he was ridiculous. Influenced by his own desires, he actually wanted to unify the whole world. But who knows that he is just a jumping clown? Let alone unifying the whole world. According to his strength, I am afraid that he can't even attack a ninja village. I don't care what you say, but now, Zero Tail has absorbed enough dark power. All the negative power in this world can be absorbed by Zero Tail. In this way, I can have a lot of power. After I kill you here completely, I will go to eradicate Konoha. Shannon has become extremely crazy now. He is dreaming his beautiful dream. Dark power. Naruto didn't quite understand what he said. When a person's heart is dominated by sadness, he will feel anger or hatred towards the source of misfortune, and all of this will produce dark chakra, which can be used to deal with the ninjas in this world. It's just a pity that the reason why I asked the ninjas of the Kingdom of Sky to attack the Kingdom of Wu was to use the power generated by them to obtain the power of their tailed beasts, especially yours. The power of the 9 tails is very strong, enough to support me in unifying the entire world. It's just that you are too well protected by your village. The ninjas of the Kingdom of Sky are really useless. They were defeated before they could even enter the main city of Konoha. But fortunately, I have obtained such dark power in other places. Now I have become the ruler of dark power. You can't defeat me." Shannon laughed crazily. The smile sounded extremely harsh. People felt a chill and creepy feeling. "So, it turns out that all this was caused by you." Naruto became even more angry. Although the Konoha ninja village did not experience such a tragic situation, Naruto saw the chaos that the Sand ninja village had experienced. Innocent villagers died tragically, they fell in a pool of blood, some even had their legs broken by the building, and could only become disabled for the rest of their lives. Some people were blown to pieces by the bombs of the Kingdom of Sky, and even their bodies could not be found intact. And all this was just to get the chakra of the tailed beast. All this is unforgivable. Hatred arose in Naruto's heart. He wanted to kill the man in front of him. Naruto's eyes turned red, and the chakra of the 9 tails slowly appeared. Haha, that's the feeling, that's the power of hatred. Come on. Shannon laughed after noticing Naruto's changes. The power of the dark chakra in Naruto's body is constantly entering the body of Zero Tail. These powers will replenish the chakra of Zero Tail. Make his strength even stronger. Naruto, don't be fooled, he wants to anger you and get your chakra power. Tianyu grabbed Naruto's hands. He directly suppressed the chakra of the 9 tails. Brother Tianyu. Naruto's eyes returned to blue, but he still looked at Shannon with hatred. I will kill you to avenge the dead villagers. When Yu Liu heard Shannon's words, the Shannon in her heart was completely shattered. When the myth was shattered, new and old hatreds came together. The blood debt of killing the villagers made Yu Liu rush up with a scalpel in his hand. The scalpel in Yu Liu's hand was given to him by Shannon before. Shannon told Yu Liu that he hoped Yu Liu could hold this scalpel to cure diseases and save lives. But now Yu Liu wants to use this scalpel to kill Shannon himself. It must be said that this is also a kind of sadness. Yu Liu rushed up directly. Naruto did not hold him in time, and saw Yu Liu being knocked down by Shannon directly. But he did not learn any ninjutsu at all, and was knocked to the ground by Shannon with one punch. You want to kill me? Who do you think you are? Shannon began to kick Yu Liu, who was lying on the ground with his feet. That appearance was very different from the beginning. Yu Liu was kicked all over his body, but he found the right time and bit Shenlong's foot. Who could feel the pain from his foot and kicked Yu Liu away? Yu Liu was smashed to the ground, and Naruto hurried forward and picked him up. Why did you rush up? You are no match for him at all. Naruto said anxiously. Chapter 390 The Underestimated 8 Gates. Yulia was speechless, tears streaming down her face. Put away your little tricks, Shannon. Since you dare to say such big words in front of me, then I want to see how capable you are. Use all your strength, otherwise you will never have this opportunity again. Tianyu looked at Shannon and said, "Humph, then let me show you the power of flesh and body activation to the extreme." Shannon laughed loudly, then formed seals with his hands, and suddenly a huge force enveloped him. His flesh began to change rapidly, and his muscles and hair were constantly growing. In the end, his body was more than double than before. I forgot to tell you, Tianyu, when I was traveling in Konoha, I also heard about the 8 gates of ninjutsu. It is a ninjutsu that opens the body's acupuncture points and releases one's own power to the limit. For this reason, after my regeneration ninjutsu was successful, I also learned the 8 gates of ninjutsu and integrated it into the limit of activation, so next I will beat you to death. After saying this, Shannon rushed over directly. He was extremely fast, and his body was full of strength. He punched Tianyu with one punch. But he only hit Tianyu's afterimage. The real Tianyu had already appeared behind him. So how many doors did you open? Tianyu asked, looking at him with his arms folded. He didn't feel like he was fighting at all. 3 doors. Shannon replied. Then he punched Tianyu again. This time, the ground was directly smashed through by him, and the ground was broken. The power of this punch was indeed very strong. If it hit a person's body, it would be enough to seriously injure a ninja. It's just a pity that although he was very fast, Tianyu was faster. Oh, I thought you were so strong, but it turns out that you can only open 3 doors. Tianyu still folded his arms and appeared behind him again. Then I'll show you the power of opening more doors. Boom. Shannon roared, and his body became even better again. The muscles on his body and arms swelled. It looked a bit scary. Rasengan. Naruto directly used the Rasengan and hit Shannon hard. However, this time the Rasengan did not burst out with a strong force, but only knocked Shannon's body back a little. Even Shenlong did not suffer any injuries. Oh, I almost forgot, there is also you little brat. Shannon was busy fighting with Tianyu, but forgot about Naruto. Boom. Shannon punched Naruto, but the next moment Naruto's body appeared in a safe place. Brother Tianyu. Naruto looked at Tianyu. I didn't teach you to attack without knowing the true strength of the enemy. Tianyu looked at Naruto and said. But, brother Tianyu, I really can't stand it. He actually said that. I really. Naruto gritted his teeth. Tianyu sighed. Naruto is good at everything, and his empathy ability is really too strong. After hearing about other people's pain, he can empathize with them. This ability is indeed good at ordinary times, but it is indeed a bit inappropriate now. He would only let Naruto be dominated by hatred and make many irrational actions. That's enough. Even if those villagers died, they were killed by their own greed. If you believe someone you shouldn't believe, you should pay such a price. We do want to kill Shannon, but we also want to let people know that nothing is easy to get. Once you make a wrong choice, you have to pay the price of your life. Take Yulia out. Tianyu looked at Naruto and said. Yes. Naruto heard this, turned around and hugged Yulia and left the hall. Humph, don't you want a guy who will hold you back? But even so, I will let your subordinates see you being beaten to death by me. Shannon laughed. Then he rushed directly to Tianyu. But this time Tianyu did not dodge. I have seen through your moves. If you say that what you opened is the 8 gates, it's really a joke. Death Gate, don't joke. If you have seen the power of the real Death Gate, you will know that your current power is just like a child's play. Next, I will let you feel what the real 8 gates is. Tianyu looked at Shannon. He wanted to laugh. This guy probably heard that the 8 gates can stimulate the body to increase strength, so he learned the basics. He didn't learn the essence of the 8 gates at all, and dared to say that he opened the Death Gate directly. This is simply a joke. Don't forget that my guy, who opened the Death Gate, almost kicked out the finale with one kick. Even Uchiha Madara, who has a sage body, thinks that it is the strongest physical skill. How could this jumping clown in front of him be able to compare? 8 gates, Jingmen open. Tianyu's aura instantly became extremely powerful. That sharp aura almost suppressed everyone. What? This is impossible. Shannon took a step back when he saw the aura bursting out from Tianyu. He could feel that such an aura was definitely not something he could match. Even at this moment, he actually felt a little fear in his heart. No, don't come over. Shannon began to be afraid. Too late. Tianyu took action directly. Using the Flying Thunder God technique and the 8 gates of the ninjutsu, the Shannon in front of him was almost like a sandbag being constantly beaten by Tianyu's fists. Bang! Shannon's body was knocked to the ground fiercely. He rolled on the ground for several times before finally getting up. You are indeed very strong, but I will be stronger. Shannon laughed loudly. As he continued to perform the regeneration technique, the wounds in his body that were previously beaten by Tianyu recovered quickly, and his strength was still increasing. Oh, then try this trick, the Black Phoenix. Tianyu made a move. The fist shadow compressed the space and brought about a violent space storm. Like a phoenix of black flames, it hit Shannon fiercely. Puff! Shannon's body was hit directly into the wall. This time he couldn't even get up. He tried his best to gather the power of regeneration again, but he found that the chakra in his body couldn't function. In just a moment, his body shrank rapidly, and his originally dense hair kept falling off. By the last moment, he had turned into an old man without hair. His body was extremely thin. Chapter 391 Obtaining the Art of Regeneration. No, this is impossible. How could this be possible? Why doesn't my regeneration technique work? Shannon lay on the ground in a mess. He couldn't help but yell at himself now. He looked like a dead dog. His body became extremely withered. He looked like a person who is about to die, without any vitality. I've said it before, you underestimate the 8 gates. Do you really think that the 8 gates is just a physical technique to stimulate the acupuncture points in the body? If you really think so, then I really have to say that you are too naive. Tianyu has closed the 8 gates at this moment. He stood in front of Shannon with his arms folded like before. There was no mockery in Tianyu's words. But in Shannon's eyes at this moment, it seemed that Tianyu was like a judge who was high above. He criticized the ninjutsu he invented to pieces. No, I don't believe I will fail. I absolutely don't believe I will fail. Shannon yelled. He wanted to forcefully break through the seal of the acupuncture points and start the regeneration technique. But how could it be so easily broken after Tianyu learned to seal the chakra himself? What Shannon did now was just in vain. Soon, Shannon fell to the ground. He spat out blood in large mouthfuls. He looked particularly miserable. Stop it. Tianyu looked at Shannon expressionlessly. Stop it, it's impossible, I absolutely can't stop it. Don't forget that I still have 0 tail. The dark chakra is my last strength, my last trump card. Shannon roared and directly controlled the mechanism after saying this. A big hole suddenly cracked in the ground, and Shannon jumped directly into the big hole. The hole quickly closed, making it impossible for Tianyu and others to chase him in the first time. Brother Tianyu. After confirming that Shannon disappeared, Naruto appeared in front of Tianyu holding Yuliu. Brother Tianyu, Yuliu's condition is very bad. If she doesn't get timely treatment, something bad may happen. Naruto looked at Tianyu and said anxiously. Yuliu's breathing has become extremely weak now. Although there are no obvious external injuries on her body, she has become breathless. Obviously, when she attacked Shannon just now, she was seriously injured by Shannon. Either internal bleeding or internal organs are damaged. It seems that she can't hold on for much longer. Tianyu went forward to check Yuliu's body after hearing what Naruto said. Ah, it hurts. Yulia wailed in pain. Deep red blood flowed from the corners of her mouth. After seeing this scene, Tianyu became very sure that her internal organs should have been damaged, which also caused a lot of internal bleeding. Tianyu does not know how to treat ninjutsu, so he can only send cold air to Yuliu to temporarily help her stop the pain. Naruto, take Yuliu away now and go find Shikamaru. He should have emergency tools. I have transferred some of my chakra to him, which can at least help him survive for 1 day. If Shikamaru can't solve the problem, take her to Konoha as soon as possible. Tianyu looked at Naruto and said. Well, okay, then I'll leave it to you, brother Tianyu. Naruto nodded heavily. Perhaps Yuliu's obsession was too strong. After hearing Naruto's words, Yuliu, who had already fallen into coma, forced her eyes open. She tightly grasped the corner of Tianyu's clothes. My lord, please don't let Shannon go. You must kill him. He slaughtered the whole village and hurt the whole world. Please kill him and get rid of the harm for the people. You must kill him. Yuliu supported her body and looked at Tianyu. Although her voice was very weak, it seemed so firm. Don't worry, I won't let him go. Tianyu nodded. Yuliu, stop talking, your body won't be able to support it. I'll take you to find Shikamaru right now. Brother Tianyu, I'll leave everything to you. After Naruto finished saying this, he couldn't wait to run outside with Yuliu in his arms. Naruto was very fast. He didn't want Yuliu to die like this. If Yuliu died like this, Naruto would definitely blame himself. After Naruto and Yuliu left, Tianyu looked around. The ground around was as smooth as a mirror. And Shannon had destroyed the mechanism before opening it, and opened the road again. Obviously he wanted to delay time until Zero Tail appeared completely. It's a pity that Shannon's wishful thinking is obviously going to fail. Tianyu won't let Zero Tail appear so easily. Walking to the seat where Shannon had sat before, Tianyu smashed the pillar next to him without hesitation. The middle of the pillar was empty, and there was a scroll inside. This scroll is the regeneration technique studied by Shannon. Among them, it includes how to use the regeneration ability of cells to fight and save people. The value of this thing is not very great for Tianyu. With a Gerald Stone, Tianyu's current body recovery is not much weaker than that of Senju Hashirama. As for using the regeneration technique to fight, this is not as useful to him as the 8 gates. But if this regeneration technique can be handed over to Orochimaru for further research. For ordinary ninjas in Konoha, it is a good trick. It can also prevent the death of ninjas. So Tianyu put away the scroll of the number of regenerated people without hesitation. Then the wind wings behind Tianyu stretched out. Tianyu slowly flew into the air, holding the ice ring pill in his hand. When he opened his eyes again, the ground around him had become icy. Boom! Tianyu controlled the ice ring pill without hesitation and smashed it heavily on the floor. Boom! At that moment, the entire ruins began to tremble. The pillars around collapsed. Tianyu also blasted a big hole in the ceiling directly, revealing the road below. The floor below was obviously very hard, but Shenlong could never have imagined that Tianyu would forcefully break the floor. You clown, I want to see how you can hide. Tianyu sneered. Then he entered the passage without hesitation. On the other side, after Naruto used the wings of wind to leave the ruins, he began to look for Shikamaru in a hurry. At this moment, besides Shikamaru, Shizune and the others also came to support him. After all, such a huge ruin was lifted off from the edge of the land of fire. Even though Tsunade knew that Tianyu could solve all the problems here, she couldn't help but worry in her heart. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 392 The Second Hokage's Fault. Tsunade is the Hokage, so she can't leave the village easily. She has to stay here to command. So she assigned Shizune and Ino to come to support. When Shizune just arrived here, before she had time to say a few words to Shikamaru and the others, she saw Naruto holding Yuliu coming over. Sister Shizune, help me! Naruto shouted. What's going on? Shizune thought something happened to Naruto and was a little anxious. Come and see Yuliu, his physical condition is very bad. Naruto hurriedly put Yuliu in front of Shizune. Shizune looked at the patient and didn't have time to ask Naruto about Tianyu's condition. She started to treat her directly. Her condition was very bad, and most of her internal organs were bleeding. But fortunately, with Tianyu's chakra, she can still hold on for a while. Shizune hurriedly began to prepare for the operation. The scalpel, hemostatic forceps, and medical ninjutsu were used in turn. After more than half an hour, this emergency treatment was over. Yuliu's breathing also became much more stable. What's wrong, Sister Shizune? Naruto asked anxiously. She's out of danger. She only needs to stay in the hospital for a few more days for observation. If there's no more bleeding in her body, she can be discharged. But what's going on, Naruto? Tell me, what's wrong with you? Shizune asked anxiously. It's like this. Naruto told Shizune about the recent situation without hesitation. What? I didn't expect Shannon to be such a hypocritical villain. I thought he was a good person. After hearing what Naruto said, Shizune immediately became indignant. After all, they're all medical ninjas. They're all doctors. It is the doctor's duty to cure diseases and save lives. If it is not a last resort, they will never kill people. But now Shannon, this guy, pretends to be a kind-hearted doctor on the surface, constantly helping the sick and the injured. But he actually did such a dirty thing in secret, which is simply unworthy of being a human being. We were all deceived by him, but fortunately now that his true identity has been revealed, he can no longer harm anyone. Naruto said. Yes, that's right. According to what you said, Master Amaji is now fighting Shenlong and Zero Tails alone, right? He may be in danger. Everyone, be sure to provide timely support and be prepared for Master Amaji. Shizune said to a ninja behind him. Yes. Everyone was on high alert. Sister Shizune, have you heard about the dark chakra? Naruto has always been very concerned about what Shannon said about the Zero Tails scroll he got from Konoha. After all, Konoha is a pure land in Naruto's heart. Even when he was the third Hokage. There is indeed a lot of darkness in the village of Konoha. But a monster like Zero Tails will never be cultivated. Because such a monster's food is the pain of everyone. Whether it is hatred, anger, or jealousy. Zero Tails survives by eating the negative emotions of various creatures. So if Zero Tails is born, then this world will really have no good days. Massive slaughter and war will fill the whole world. At that time, the whole ninja world will never have a peaceful day. They will have to return to the village again, and there will be no time to build it. Those children will have to endure fear, and may be killed by ninjutsu from nowhere in the next moment. Dark chakra. Shizune was stunned when she heard Naruto's words. I have never heard of the name of the monster Zero Tail, but if it is dark chakra, I have heard of it. Tsunade said that after Hashirama died, the second generation Hokage wanted to create something to protect Konoha. But in the end, because the thing he created did not meet his expectations, he sealed it directly. The new chakra created by that thing seems to be dark chakra, but since it has been sealed as a forbidden technique, it should be something that is of no benefit to Konoha. Shizune looked at Naruto and said, why is it related to the second generation Hokage again? Naruto was stunned when he heard this. He felt that all the current situations in Konoha seemed to be related to the second Hokage. Either the second Hokage created various forbidden techniques or the weapons left by the second Hokage. If Shianayu was here at this moment, he would probably complain directly. That guy, Senju Tobirama, is simply a ninjutsu genius. It's just a pity that most of the ninjutsu he created cannot be used except for a few people. They are all forbidden techniques. Naruto, you must not let the second Hokage hear you, otherwise he might catch you and teach you a lesson. Shizune couldn't help laughing when he heard this. Then you must not tell the second Hokage grandpa. Naruto heard Shizune's words and hurriedly covered his mouth. Shianayu came to the bottom of the ruins through the passage. But when he came here, he felt that the chakra in his body seemed to be suppressed and he couldn't move at all. Once the chakra power was forcibly exerted, it would be directly absorbed by the huge cocoon-like thing in the center of this room. I knew you would follow me, but I didn't expect you to use such a violent method. This is in the sky. Aren't you afraid of destroying the entire ruins and falling down and being smashed to pieces? Shannon looked at Shianayu and couldn't help questioning. Although Shannon knew that he couldn't stop Shianayu for a long time, he still didn't agree with Shianayu's practice of forcibly breaking the floor to find a way. After all, this is hundreds of meters high. No matter how powerful you are, if you fall down, you will probably be smashed to pieces. HMPH, you don't have to worry about this. If this ruins really falls down, it will only be you who will be smashed to pieces. There are only two ways in front of you now. The first is to surrender directly, and I can still leave you a whole body. The second is that you resist stubbornly, and then I kill you, but in this way I can't be sure whether your body is still a whole body. Shianayu held the Binglin pill in his hand and looked at the Shannon in front of him and said sternly, Haha, if you think I just lured you here so that you can surrender, then you are totally wrong. How could I make such a low-level mistake? I let you come here because I want to kill you. Chapter 393, The Destruction of Shannon. Shannon laughed loudly when he saw Shianayu in front of him. He had set a trap long ago. Although Shianayu arrived here faster than he expected, he still fell for it. Oh, it seems that Lingui has given you a lot of confidence, so you dare to challenge me. Shianayu narrowed his eyes and looked at Shannon. He thought this guy was very funny. No, it should be said that it was very funny. This guy actually thought that he could kill him. I really don't know what's in this guy's mind. Haha, then you just wait and see. Shannon laughed loudly when he heard this. Then he stood in front of Ling Wei without hesitation. Then Shannon jumped into Ling Wei's body without hesitation. What? Tianyu was stunned for a moment, and then he saw that a very brilliant light suddenly burst out from Ling Wei. This light came directly from the fortress. It completely destroyed a mountain. Haha, see, this is the power of the ultimate weapon. Shannon's laughter kept echoing. Is this the power of the fortress? Be on guard. Shizune stared at the destroyed mountain in a daze, and then ordered the ninjas to be on guard quickly. How is it? Shannon laughed loudly, his body already hidden in the monster's body. Not very good, although this power looks very strong, it is not as good as the tailed beast ball. If you think you can defeat me with such power, then you are really overestimating yourself. Tianyu looked at this power. No wonder Zero Tail has the name of a tailed beast. The power just released is enough to rival the tailed beast ball of the tailed beast. But it is only comparable. The power is not as strong as the tailed beast ball of the tailed beast. What? Well, then I will show you how powerful I am. Shannon was furious when he heard this. In an instant, Zero Tail stretched out countless hands and began to attack Tianyu. Each of these hands hit the ground with extremely powerful force. Tianyu kept dodging. He did not attack. Haha, you can't use chakra anymore, right? You are no different from a useless person. Shannon saw that Tianyu didn't attack directly, but became complacent. He thought that Tianyu should no longer be able to use chakra. Then Tianyu like this could not be his opponent at all. Tianyu didn't say anything, but took advantage of the path extended by these tentacles to approach the body of Zero Tail step by step. Haha, die? Zero Tail finally stretched out a tentacle, wanting to kill Tianyu completely. Sky 100 Flowers Burial. However, the next moment, the temperature around suddenly became extremely cold. Zero Tail's tentacles stiffened for a moment. Ah! Shannon shouted. Because he actually felt an extremely cold power. This power was not the chakra of the Naruto world, but a power from a deeper level. And he himself had no way to absorb and digest such power. What is this? Shannon roared. He felt as if his limbs were frozen. Then the sky began to rain petals. It should have been a beautiful picture, but in Shannon's eyes it was like a ghost demanding his life. Each of these petals became a sharp blade that wanted his life. These petals kept falling on his body. They kept forming one ice barrier after another. His body was completely frozen. I forgot to tell you that I have more than just chakra. I also have power that does not belong to this world. Once the rain of petals from the Ice Sky 100 Flowers Burial falls on you, after reaching 100 pieces, your body will be completely frozen, whether it is blood or internal organs. From head to toe you will be frozen into an ice sculpture. Of course you are conscious during the whole process. You will watch yourself being frozen into an ice sculpture and die. Tianyu turned over and landed lightly on the ground. He hugged his shoulders and said with a smile. No. Shannon panicked when he heard this. He wanted to do something to remove the petals on his body. He used fire escape and lightning escape. But there was no sign of these petals being removed at all. 52 flowers. Tianyu said. No. Shannon suddenly became crazy when he heard Tianyu's words. He began to attack Tianyu continuously, as if he wanted to die with Tianyu at the last moment of his life. Tianyu was still dodging. Because the guy in front of him was already dead, there was no need for him to waste extra strength. 63 flowers. Tianyu spoke again. No. Shannon could already feel that his body was becoming colder and colder. It was as if his blood was frozen. 74 flowers. No, Tianyu, please forgive me, it's my fault. I didn't want you to steal the scroll from Konoha, and I shouldn't let the ninjas of the Kingdom of Sky deal with Konoha and the 5 major countries, let alone kill ninjas and civilians. Please let me go. Shannon felt the terrifying threat and began to beg for mercy. But Tianyu was unmoved. The guy in front of him was willing to beg for mercy only when he threatened himself. But he didn't understand the crimes he had committed. He killed innocent people wantonly. He took revenge on others to satisfy his own selfish interests. He even stole the forbidden scrolls of other countries. All these things were enough to sentence him to death. And Tianyu would not be lenient to these people. 85 flowers. Tianyu was unmoved. When Shannon saw that his plea for mercy was ineffective, he turned hostile. Well, Since you don't want to let me go, let's die together. After saying that, Shannon directly started the self-exposure of Zero Tail. The body of this monster was rapidly expanding. The power in his body was growing crazily. Then it reached a critical point and was about to explode. 100 flowers. However, just when he was about to self-exposure, the flowers in his body had already condensed into 100 flowers. Crack! Zero Tail turned from top to bottom and directly became a large ice sculpture. Tianyu walked behind Shannon and gently pushed the ice sculpture. With a cracking sound, the ice sculpture fell to the ground and broke into pieces. Well, this relic was originally full of power and ready to attack. But when the monster died, the power in this season slowly dissipated. Chapter 394: The Whereabouts of Pharmacist Kabuto. Soon, the ruins could no longer rise into the air. It was falling at a very fast speed. Tianyu directly split the ceiling of the ruins and flew out using the wind wings. Along with the ruins, there was a heavy crash. Tianyu appeared behind Shizune. "Tianyu, are you okay?" Shizune asked hurriedly after seeing Tianyu appear. "It's okay, everything is settled, let's get ready to go back." Tianyu nodded to Shizune. Then he walked in front of Naruto and looked at Yuliu, who was lying on the bed and sleeping. "Tianyu, brother Yuliu is out of danger. Sister Shizune said that he will be able to recover after a while." Naruto looked at Tianyu and said hurriedly, "Well, very good, you did a good job this time, pack up and get ready to go back." Tianyu said this and turned to the direction of Konoha. "Oh, by the way, remember to send ninjas to seal off all here, and then go to the ruins, bring back everything you can get to Konoha, and then evacuate." Tianyu said while looking at Shizune. Yes. Everyone planned to evacuate. Yulia was carried by Naruto and Shikamaru. Because of the wounded along the way, their walking speed was not fast. It took 2 full days to reach Konoha. What happened? After Tsunade saw Tianyu, she ran over and asked impatiently. "Everything has been resolved. There is no problem. Don't worry anymore. I just need to go to Orochimaru. You can ask Naruto and Shikamaru about what happened this time. By the way, tell the second-generation Hokage for me and ask him not to study those ninjutsu anymore. Really, every time he studies out forbidden techniques that ordinary people can't use, it's really not good." Tianyu was a little helpless. Okay. Tsunade laughed directly after hearing this. But after hearing Tianyu's complaints, Tsunade was also a little helpless. After all, there are indeed many forbidden techniques created by Senju Tobirama. Tianyu directly used the Flying Thunder God technique to come to Orochimaru's underground laboratory. What happened? Did Tianyu get the regeneration technique back? Orochimaru looked at Tianyu and said impatiently. "I brought it out, and I brought you something even better." Tianyu said as he took out a crystal core that was shining with a crystal blue light and handed it to Orochimaru. "What is this?" Orochimaru took the scroll of the regeneration technique and couldn't wait to open it. But when he saw the content of the regeneration technique, Orochimaru was disappointed. "I thought Shannon had researched something about the regeneration technique, but I didn't expect that he didn't research as much as I did. It really disappointed me." Orochimaru sighed. After all, he was still thinking that this regeneration technique might help him cultivate a perfect body again. But it turned out that it only activated cell division. In this case, it would be of no use to Orochimaru. However, Orochimaru was somewhat interested in the golden blue crystal core that Tianyu brought. After a thorough inspection, Orochimaru seemed to have discovered something. "This is Dark Attribute Chakra, how did you get it?" Orochimaru seemed very surprised. After all, Dark Attribute Chakra is very rare, and it is even rarer in this world. This is the source of power I took out of Zero Tail after he turned into an ice sculpture. See if you can use this Jin to cultivate a new tailed beast. This tailed beast must be controllable and can be given some power, but there must be a limit, and it must not escape human control. Tianyu said to Orochimaru. "Well, I'll give it a try, but Tianyu, we clearly agreed before that I was only responsible for researching the advanced technology of the 3 Magatama Sharingan in Konoha, but I have been working for you here since then, and I don't even have time to take a vacation. Shouldn't you show some expression?" Orochimaru smiled cunningly at Tianyu. From the look on his face, you can tell that he wants to blackmail something. Hearing this, Tianyu folded his arms and looked at Orochimaru. "Tell me, what do you want? Good boy, I know you must know me very well." I need the chakra of the Nine Tails and a sample of the Byakugan of the Hyuga clan. I recently found something very interesting, so I must verify it. Orochimaru said with a smile. In fact, it would be very easy for Orochimaru to get these two things by himself. As long as the seal in Naruto's body is opened, he can naturally obtain the Nine Tails chakra. Then, as long as he randomly kidnaps a member of the Hyuga clan, he can also obtain a set of Hyuga's Byakugan samples. But at least he is in Konoha now and must abide by Konoha's laws. So he can only ask Tianyu. Okay, I'll let Neji come over later, but I still say that, don't go too far, otherwise you know the consequences. As for the Nine Tails chakra in Naruto's body, I don't want to remove the seal. I plan to start teaching Naruto a new ninjutsu. When I live longer, I will find a way to bring my chakra to you. Tianyu looked at Orochimaru and said, don't worry, I have stopped doing those things a long time ago, because I find that it is best for you to help me get the samples instead of bringing them back myself. Orochimaru said with a smile. He obviously regarded Tianyu as a free helper. Oh, really? Tianyu narrowed his eyes when he heard this. Orochimaru, I'll give you one more chance to reorganize your words. Okay, Tianyu, you win. I mean, the sample you brought back for me is the most suitable and the best to use. Orochimaru said helplessly. After all, Tianyu can't afford to offend. Very good. Tianyu nodded. Then I'll leave first. Remember, you must make these things I told you as quickly as possible. Tianyu said. Okay, believe me. Orochimaru nodded. Oh, by the way, I think I may need to pay attention to Kabuto Yakashi recently. I haven't found him for several days, and he seems to have taken away some of my research results. If I let him continue, it is very likely to cause certain losses to the village. Orochimaru looked at Tianyu and hurriedly stopped him. I know, but don't worry, that guy Kabuto Yakashi is nothing to me. He can't beat me out of my palm. Tianyu smiled. Turned and left. In fact, Tianyu didn't plan to catch Kabuto Yakashi back. After all, someone has to keep things moving forward. Chapter 395 Tianyu's plan. Kaguya Otsutsuki will eventually appear, because only in this way can they completely eliminate Black and White Zetsu and Kaguya Otsutsuki. Frustrate their conspiracy. Therefore, Kabuto Yakashi's rebellion is not a big deal for Tianyu, and as long as he can grasp Kabuto Yakashi's situation at any time, it doesn't make any difference to him whether Kabuto Yakashi is in Konoha or in the Akatsuki organization. Tianyu, although I don't know what you are doing secretly, don't play things out, otherwise it will be difficult to end it at that time. After seeing Tianyu's attitude, Orochimaru couldn't help but remind him. After all, Orochimaru also felt that Kabuto Yakashi was easy to control, so he regarded him as his assistant. But later, Orochimaru felt that Kabuto Yakashi's ambition was more than that. He had greater ambitions. But at that time, the control of everything had long been beyond Orochimaru's control. So he couldn't solve it at that time, and Kabuto Yakashi had to continue to rely on him. The reason why Orochimaru said this was just to remind Tianyu not to make the same mistake as him. I know, don't worry, Orochimaru. By the way, I remember that there is a solution to impure world reincarnation, right? Tianyu looked at Orochimaru and said. Yes, after the second Hokage Senju Tobirama created the impure world reincarnation ninjutsu, he also created a ninja technique to cancel the impure world reincarnation. If you use this technique, all the impure world reincarnations will be unlocked. This can be considered as an insurance. After all, you can't guarantee that all the impure world reincarnations will listen to you. And it is unrealistic to cast a control spell on them. If their power far exceeds yours, they can completely resist such a control spell. So it is necessary to create a sorcerer who can cancel the impure world reincarnation at any time. Orochimaru replied. To be honest, Orochimaru really admires the second Hokage Senju Tobirama in his heart. Because of this power, Orochimaru admitted that he couldn't do it. Okay, let's play then. I wonder if you can correct the impure world reincarnation technique. I want you to add a step to it so that it cannot be cancelled. I wonder if you can do it. Tianyu looked at Orochimaru and asked. Of course, I can. Although I can't create this ninjutsu like the second generation Hokage, I can still do it with some tricks. But, are you sure you want to do that? Don't forget, if the impure world reincarnation technique cannot be cancelled, then unless the person who is resurrected sincerely wants to return to the Pure Land, he will live forever. And because the corpse of the impure world reincarnation is immortal, the chakra is basically unlimited. He can get stronger power than before. This is simply a disaster. Orochimaru looked at Tianyu and didn't quite understand why he did this. I know I am useful, so I'll leave it to you. Tianyu certainly wouldn't tell Orochimaru his plan. Okay, anyway, what you want will always be useful. Orochimaru waved his hand helplessly and agreed to Tianyu's request. Yet, hearing this, Tianyu turned and left. Arrived at the Konoha office. At this time, Naruto and Shikamaru had already reported the situation this time. Seeing Tianyu coming, the two also said goodbye and left. I didn't expect that this time it would turn out like this, but fortunately, Madarumi and Gaara have sent news that the ninjas from the Kingdom of the Sky have retreated. I have also sent Kakashi and others to pursue them. I believe that in a few days, we will be able to completely kill the ninjas from the Kingdom of the Sky. Tsunade said with a smile. After all, this is the only good news in recent times. Well, then do it. By the way, Tsunade, I have an idea that I have always wanted to tell you, but it was delayed because of various things. Now that things have been resolved, I want to tell you this plan. Tianyu intends to tell you his plan. After all, judging from the current situation, there are only 4 people left in the Akatsuki organization, Nagato, Konan Obito, and Black and White Zetsu. Losing too many members, even Obito will be irritable. So at this time he will definitely try his best to bring back all the remaining tails. And this is also a good opportunity for him to take action. Tell me. Tsunade sat aside and listened to Tianyu attentively. My idea is this, maybe we can gather all the tailed beasts to Konoha, which can help Konoha strengthen its strength and put all the pressure of Akatsuki here. Secondly, I also want to realize my plan. I want to bring Nagato and Konan to Konoha. Even if possible, I want to bring the current leader of Akatsuki here. Tianyu said with a smile. What, Tianyu, do you know what you are talking about? Tsunade was stunned when she heard Tianyu's words. Tsunade could understand the previous one who gathered all the tailed beasts to Konoha. After all, the power of the tailed beasts can indeed enhance the strength of a village. And the strength of the Jinchuriki is not only that he can increase the strength of the village to the level of Kage. It can also bring deterrence to the village. Tell everyone that there are tailed beasts in their village, if they are not afraid of death and are not afraid of being hit by the tailed beast bullets. Just attack the village. But Nagato and Konan are members of the Akatsuki organization, and they have indeed attacked Konoha before. Even the masked man behind the Akatsuki organization. He is not a good guy. But Tianyu is thinking about pulling them into Konoha. This really makes Tsunade not know what to say. If it is for the Samsara I can still accept Nagato and Konan. After all, they were favored by Jiraiya and can be regarded as Jiraiya's disciples. But that masked man, although we all know that he is not Uchiha Madara, he claims to be. We all see his danger. He is not a good person. Tsunade couldn't help but remind Tianyu. I know, but don't worry, I won't make such a brainless choice, you have to believe me. Tianyu can't tell Tsunade everything now. But he believes that things will eventually be in his hands. And it will proceed as he wants. I believe in you. Of course I believe in you. Otherwise, I wouldn't let you do it. But since this is your idea, then go ahead and do it. I will support you. Chapter 396 Teasing Black and White. Tsunade finally agreed. Anyway, the village has already accepted so many people from Akatsuki. A few more won't be a big deal. Well, I will go to other villages with tailed beasts tomorrow to negotiate with them. If the negotiation is successful, I will bring the tailed beasts back. But if the negotiation fails, we will prepare for war. Konoha has accumulated strength for so many years. It's time to let them know that Konoha is no longer the Konoha before. Tianyu looked at Tsunade and said. Okay. Tsunade nodded. Well, if we go to other villages to negotiate, why not take Shikamaru with us? He is quite smart and can come up with many strategies. Taking him with us can be considered as training. After all, we old people will retire one day, and the world will eventually be handed over to you young people. Tsunade smiled and recommended Shikamaru to Tianyu. No problem, let him pack up and leave with me tomorrow. Tianyu said this. He looked at Tsunade. Then he went forward and hugged Tsunade. Don't say that. You are very important to the whole village. Tianyu. Tsunade looked at Tianyu, silently enjoying the warmth of this moment. Okay, I'll leave first. Tiantian is waiting for me at home for dinner. After Tianyu finished speaking, he turned and left. Tsunade just stared at Tianyu's back blankly, and then continued to deal with things. Tianyu seemed to have bought a fish, some vegetables, and some dishes that Tiantian and Hinata liked at the market. Then he returned home with a package. Brother. Tianyu was knocked down by Tiantian as soon as he entered the door. Brother, I miss you so much. Every time you go on a mission, you always go out for such a long time. Do you know? This time in the class, Teacher Yuhikurnai praised me. Tiantian threw herself into Tianyu's arms and said with some pride. These times, Might Guy and Kakashi went to the Land of Water and Sand Village for missions respectively, so Tiantian and Xiaoli were incorporated into the class of Zinrikurnai and trained with them. It just so happened that Tiantian also wanted to stay with Hinata all the time. After all, Chukin was her future sister-in-law. The relationship between the sister-in-law and the sister-in-law should be maintained very well. Really? That's great. I didn't expect that our Tiantian has become a ninja who can stand on her own now. Tianyu smiled and put all the things in the kitchen, then rubbed Tiantian's head and said, Of course, don't forget that my future goal is to become the most powerful female ninja, and I think I can do it. Tiantian said with some pride. After all, Tianyu is his elder brother, and if he practices according to Tianyu's training methods every day, Tiantian feels that his progress is very fast. Although he is still a Chunin now and has not passed the Chunin exam, his strength has long been no less than some Chunins. I believe you can do it too. Okay, hurry up and prepare dinner. I specially bought your favorite food today. Tianyu said with a smile. No problem, leave the kitchen to me next. Tiantian said with a smile and walked into the kitchen. Hinata also came to Tianyu's house soon. Tianyu, this is for you. When he came yesterday, he was holding a lunchbox in his hand. It was filled with rice balls specially made by Hinata. These rice balls can be stored for a long time, and it can be seen at a glance that they are prepared for Tianyu's mission. Thank you, Hinata. Tianyu was very moved when he saw the things. It's okay, if you like it, I will prepare it for you next time. I learned a new dish with Tiantian a few days ago, and I plan to cook it for you to try. Hinata couldn't help blushing when she heard Tianyu's words. Okay, then I must try it carefully. Tianyu smiled. Yes. Hinata nodded, and then walked into the kitchen to work with Tiantian. Dinner came up quickly. Tianyu, Tiantian and Hinata had a very warm dinner. After a few people had a good talk, Tianyu sent Hinata back to the Hyuga family's mansion. The next morning, Tianyu got up early and walked to the front of Konoha's village. There, Shikamaru had already packed his things and was waiting for him. Lord Amaji. Shikamaru bowed respectfully. Well, let's go. This time our target is Iwagakure. If we can get the 4 tails and the 5 tails through negotiations, it would be great. But if we can't get them, we should prepare for war. Amaji looked at Shikamaru and said calmly. Yes, I believe the 4 tails and the 5 tails can be obtained through negotiations. Shikamaru was very confident in Amaji. Last night he also studied a lot about the history of Iwagakure. Although Iwagakure looks very prosperous now, it has not had the problems like the water country and the wind country. But in fact, there have been some flaws in their internal affairs. If these weaknesses can be used, I believe they will definitely get what they want this time. Well, then I'll borrow your good words. Amaji nodded. The two set off together. Iwagakure is a distance away from Konoha, and Amaji has never been there. So this time they have to walk. They set off at the fastest speed along the way. Amaji can sense that someone is watching him around. It should be the black and white Zetsu. But Tianyu ignored him. Black and white Zetsu, this clown, only dared to monitor him in secret. If black and white Zetsu appeared in front of Tianyu now, he would definitely send black and white Zetsu to his death without hesitation. But not paying attention to him does not mean that Tianyu is a good-tempered person. Tianyu quietly left a detonating tag behind them. Then he left. Black and white Zetsu then shot him in the head. This Tianyu's perception ability is really strong. He will be discovered if he is not careful. And this time his target is also the rock village. It seems that I need to inform Obito to be careful. Black and white Zetsu muttered to himself. Then he planned to leave here to inform Obito. But the next moment, The detonating tag hidden in the dark exploded directly. The huge flames instantly swept black and white Zetsu. Boom! The earth began to tremble. When the flames disappeared, half of black and white Zetsu's body had been blown to pieces. The red cloud robe he was wearing had been directly broken into pieces. Although there were no wounds on his body, he was still extremely embarrassed. Chapter 397, 10,000 Years of Shinanguji. Damn Tianyu, when I revive my mother, I will let you know what hell on earth is. Black Zetsu looked at his now broken body and roared angrily. He never thought that with his superb reconnaissance, Tianyu actually had time to set traps. This also dealt a great blow to Black Zetsu's heart after living for hundreds of years. He even doubted his own strength. After venting his emotions, Black Zetsu left here. After all, his most important task now is to revive his mother. Now Tianyu should also know their purpose. He is rushing ahead of them to continue collecting tailed beasts. This has made the Akatsuki organization, which was originally unstoppable, become fragmented. But even if he continued to be angry in the base, it would not be exchanged for any price. Now the Outer Path Demon statue only stores all the chakra of the two tails. At present, there are already 3 tailed beasts under the umbrella of Konoha. This makes Black Zetsu feel that his mission has become more difficult. At that time, all the big and small wars around the world were participated by Black Zetsu, playing with the battle between the 2 major families of Konoha, Uchiha and Senju. And he also controlled Uchiha Madara, the strongest of the Uchiha clan. It can be said that if Black Zetsu did not have the task of saving his mother, then Black Zetsu would have become the ruler of the world long ago. When Black Zetsu is desperate, Tianyu had already gone to an unknown place. After Black Zetsu sighed, he disappeared into the earth. At this time, Tianyu had guessed what Black Zetsu was feeling now without looking. When he thought of Black Zetsu's desperate expression, Tianyu couldn't help laughing. This fool who wanted to save his mother, I don't know how miserable he will die in the end. Then Tianyu continued to go to the hidden rock village, and he must have a good talk with the 2 Shinping Inoki. After all, Tianyu's impression of the 2 Shinping Inoki is still very deep. It's not that terrifying blood limit that allows Tianyu to remember him so clearly in his mind. It's really that Tianyu, as an ordinary college student in his previous life, was fascinated by a mobile game of the same style as Naruto. Among them, there was the terrifying price of 648 for 5 pieces of Tianping Inoki. So Tianyu was particularly familiar with the name of Tianping Inoki. Really, I don't know what's so amazing about this old guy, it's so expensive. Tianyu couldn't help but grumble. It's really too much psychological shadow on Tianyu. Master Tianyu, there seems to be an explosion behind us just now, is there something wrong? Shikamaru, who was following Tianyu, only felt the explosion from afar now. Oh, you said that there is no need to worry about that, maybe a fool accidentally exploded the detonating talisman. How can this thing not be believed to explode? Shikamaru was confused, and he didn't understand what Tianyu's brain circuit was. He actually thought that someone could accidentally explode the detonating talisman. But with Shikamaru's clever mind, he quickly guessed the whole story. After all, the detection red in Tianyu's hand is very famous among Konoha ninjas. It can be said that even if all the perception ninjas in the world are added together, they may not be as sensitive as Tianyu. After all, Tianyu has no idea how many scout rats he has now. If all of them are released now, Tianyu's perception network will reach a very terrifying level. This is why Tianyu never has to be on guard even if he is sitting here. He still has confidence that the scout rats can sense the enemy 3 days before the enemy arrives. The 2 of them were silent all the way, and basically had nothing to say. But it's not that they didn't encounter interesting things. Because at this time, Tianyu and the other 2 had already encountered a very interesting ninja. This ninja was carrying kitchen utensils on his back, and it can be seen from the quota he was wearing. Isn't this a ninja from Konoha? Shikamaru, when did Konoha have a ninja of this age? Tianyu searched in his mind and felt that this old man was very familiar. But for some reason, he just couldn't figure out who this person was. Not only Tianyu, even Shikamaru was a little curious. After all, he had memorized all the ninjas in the village of Konoha, so as to avoid hurting friendly forces when going out on missions in the future. This is also a compulsory course for ninjas. They must know the people in their own camp outdoors. Now, Shikamaru has no information about this old man in his mind. Lord Tianyu, I don't remember when our village had such a big ninja. But since he has the symbol of our Konoha, we still have to help. Shikamaru has already begun to make hand seals and prepare to rescue the old man. Who knew that at this time Tianyu actually raised his hand to stop Shikamaru? Wait a minute, things seem to be getting interesting. Don't you think we should still take a look? Tianyu looked at the old man's fighting style and suddenly had an impression of this old ninja of Konoha. How could he forget this character? When Konoha destroyed Konoha, and Naruto and others went out to perform missions, there was such an old man. But Lord Tianyu, this is our Konoha ninja, are you just going to watch him die? Although all the ninjas of Konoha trust Tianyu very much. But don't forget that Konoha ninjas are always united. Now watching his own ninja being hunted down, Shikamaru's calm heart was also a little confused. How, Shikamaru, it seems that you have forgotten someone, but do you remember a ninja named Gusuke? Tianyu leisurely found a place and began to watch Gusuke being hunted down by hundreds of ninjas. Gusuke? Shikamaru lowered his head and began to look for this name in his mind. Because he had known the history of the village since he was a child, he soon found this name in his mind. Jinan Gusuke, a very terrifying existence. When the second generation Hokage was still alive, this guy had become a ninja and was carrying out missions everywhere. However, because of his own reasons, he killed his companions. In the future, with a decision made by Senju Tobirama, he will always be a Jinan from now on. Then when Sarutobi Hiruzen was still there, he was also appreciated by Sarutobi Hiruzen and wanted to promote him to an elite Jonin. But because of the agreement with Senju Tobirama, he rejected Sarutobi Hiruzen's decision. Maybe this also means that Gusuke's luck is very good. After all, if Kosuke really became a Jonin, then based on Sarutobi Hiruzen's personality, it can be said that Kosuke would not appear in front of Tianyu alive. Chapter 398 Guji's Terrifying Strength. After the era of Sarutobi Hiruzen's rule, Gusuke also ushered in the era of the youngest Hokage, the era of Minato Namikaze's rule. Gusuke also participated in the battle with the fourth Hokage. It was also because of this mission that Gusuke lost the ability to move his left leg and became a cripple. However, this does not affect any of Gusuke's combat effectiveness. After all, Gusuke has been a Jonin for thousands of years and has performed missions with any legendary ninja. Not only that, he has also experienced the reign of 4 Hokage. If it weren't for Gusuke himself seeing Sarutobi Hiruzen's conspiracy, he would have disappeared in Konoha. Maybe Gusuke's legend would not have been interrupted so easily. At the time, Gusuke also saw the ninjas he had seen since childhood leave this world one by one. For example, Hatake Kakashi's father White Fang, and Yuhi Kurena's father. These are the children that Gusuke has seen since childhood. After being charged with some false charges, these guys died on the battlefield one after another. And the mastermind behind all this, Gusuke is at least an old fox who has lived for so many years. He can only show his childish side in front of Senju Tobirama. So he knows the whole story better than anyone else. In order to leave the last pure land of Konoha in his heart, Guji left Konoha unconsciously. Even if he is walking in the rivers and lakes, Guji still has a catchphrase. In Konoha, there is no ninja who abandons his subordinates after using them. This sentence may also be said to Sarutobi Hiruzen, or it may be telling the cause of White Fang's death. This can only be learned from Guji's mouth. Lord Tianyu, since you mentioned Guji's name, could it be that the one who is fighting? Tianyu did not answer Shikamaru's question. But Shikamaru now has the answer in his heart. It seems that the old man who is fighting is really the legend. Guji's strength is actually very clear in historical records. Not only can he use Sarutobi Hiruzen's Shuriken Shadow Clone technique, he also knows various water escape techniques that are the famous skills of Senju Tobirama. He even knows a little about Konoha's illusions, and his swordsmanship is terrible. It can be said that this guy is a ninja whose strength is second only to that of the Hokage. However, because he rejected Sarutobi Hiruzen would occasionally assign tasks when he was alive. The content of the tasks is basically the trivial things that a Jonin should do. High-level ninjas basically don't want to do these tasks. After all, they are all very troublesome tasks. Guji didn't complain at all, and completed these tasks perfectly during this period. Just when Shikamaru was recalling the rumors about Guji, the battle on Guji's side was about to end. Guji looked at the dozens of Chunin teams standing in the distance. The short sword in his hand shook gently, and countless Guji's figures appeared in the eyes of the enemy in an instant. This is a very famous illusion among the civilians of Konoha, Willow Leaf. The next moment, all the Iwagakure ninjas standing in place had lost consciousness and fell to the ground. There was a very obvious mark on the necks of all the corpses. But there was no blood. It was as if these people were just sleepy and wanted to fall to the ground and sleep. So scary. Is this the true strength of Senior Guji? At this time, Shikamaru couldn't help swallowing his saliva and looked at the corpse lying on the ground. Just now, he didn't see clearly what happened, and all the ninjas fell to the ground. You said this, if you want to learn, I can teach you, but Guji's swordsmanship is terrifying. Tianyu couldn't help but sigh. After all, Tianyu's fighting style has always been luxurious and gorgeous. This kind of clean and elegant battle made Niji feel the fun of fighting. And Guji didn't win, because the ninjas of the Hidden Rock Village didn't intend to give Guji a chance to live. Just as Guji continued to escape, another net composed of ninjas appeared in the air. All the ninjas threw kunai at the same time, intending to kill this annoying old man directly. Who knew that the pot behind Guji actually saved his life? All the kunai were blocked by the giant pot behind Guji, and Guji was not injured. Even so, Guji still fell into the river because of the imbalance of power in the air. At this moment, a woman with green hair and only two bangs in front of her that were light yellow squatted on a tree. This is a ninja who is very similar to the hero Yukang. He is just a very unknown young jonin from the Hidden Rock Village. If Ningxi next to him heard what Tianyu was thinking, he would not know what he would feel. At the age of 13, they may yearn for becoming a powerful Konoha jonin. Who knows that a jonin, or a jonin from the Hidden Rock Village Anbu, is so ordinary in Tianyu's heart. Shikamaru, do you want to bet with me on who will win this battle? Tianyu felt that things were a bit boring, so he looked at Ningxi with great interest. Anyway, there was nothing to do now, so it was just right to have a good time with Shikamaru, this little kid. It just so happened that he was a little curious about the ninjutsu system of Shikamaru's family. Although these ninjutsu of Shikamaru's family greatly restricts their own ability to move. But isn't the ultimate reason for all this because only Shikamaru can control the shadow? At this time, Tianyu made a whimsical decision, which was to let the scout mouse learn ninjutsu. After all, he has a reconnaissance network of the level of scout rats. As long as every scout rat can learn to control the shadow, then Tianyu's scout rats will also be a terrifying assassination team. Master Tianyu, aren't you humiliating me? How could I bet with you? If you win, I will practice with you for a month. Deal. Shikamaru stood up and agreed to the bet without any hesitation. After all, a month of sparring with Tianyu can make Niji make a rapid progress. Although Shikamaru doesn't care much about his ranking, he cares a lot about his strength. As long as he gets Tianyu's guidance, his strength will reach an unexpected level. In this way, he will also be able to continue to be a salted fish with strength. If the teacher says that he doesn't work hard in the future, he will use his own strength to slap them in the face. Thinking of this, Shikamaru couldn't help but grin. Tianyu saw Shikamaru's reaction, smiled, and first set his side. I'll bet on Guji. I think Guji's chance of winning is still quite high. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 399, Kill one person every 10 steps, leaving no trace in 1,000 miles. After hearing this, Shikamaru still felt a little melancholy. After all, as a legendary Jonin of Konoha, Gusuk's power is still very strong. However, as the captain of the Anbu of Iwagakure village, this power is naturally not to be underestimated. In the end, under the circumstances of no choice, Shikamaru could only choose the last remaining Iwagakure village. However, the winning rate of Iwagakure village is still very high. Although the two people used the winning rate of the ninjas of Konoha village as a bet, Tianyu would never let Gusuk get into trouble. Now Tianyu has taken out the Kusanagi sword in his hand, ready to help if Gusuk gets into trouble. However, Tianyu still doesn't have to worry so much. After all, Gusuk's strength in the original work is not just like this, and there are few people in the ninja world who can resist him. At this time, the situation on the battlefield finally moved. At this time, Gusuk, who was lying in the water, stared at the captain of the Anbu of Iwagakure village standing high. At this time, The captain of the Anbu of Iwagakure village had already moved quickly in his hands. It seems that the ninjutsu used by the captain of the Anbu of Iwagakure village this time is also very unusual. An ninjutsu with so many marks is not a simple civilian ninjutsu. This is definitely a hidden ninjutsu that only the Anbu team can use. Earth Dragon Bullet. After the Anbu captain shouted, an earth dragon rose from the ground. Roar. After the earth dragon looked up to the sky and laughed, it went straight to Gusuk, who was lying in the water. Gusuk was lying in the water, and his hands finally moved. With just 3 marks, a huge dragon-shaped creature rose next to Gusuk. Isn't this the water dragon bullet that was his specialty when Senju Tobirama appeared? With just 3 marks, he can use the Konoha A-level ninjutsu water dragon bullet. In the original work, Kakashi and Zabuza had to form dozens of marks before they could use it. It is conceivable how terrifying Gusuk is now. Perhaps only the second-generation Hokage Senju Tobirama can surpass the way this ninjutsu is used. Shikamaru couldn't help but take a breath standing next to Tianyu. It was also the first time that he saw such a terrifying ninja. Perhaps only Lord Tianyu standing next to him could easily deal with him. Lord Tianyu, do you already know that Guji's strength is so terrifying? Shikamaru was very helpless, especially when he saw the relaxed smile on Tianyu's face. He had already guessed that he had been calculated by Tianyu. What do you say? Don't break your promise. You must give me your ninjutsu. Tianyu looked at Shikamaru with a smile, and there was no regret at all for cheating others. Lord Tianyu, I will sort out all the inherited ninjutsu of the Nara family and give them to you tomorrow. Shikamaru didn't feel any pity. After all, Tianyu's reputation in Konoha is still very good. There is no worry that Tianyu will sell the inherited ninjutsu everywhere because of his bad reputation. This is a disaster for a ninja family. However, Tianyu has a very terrifying name in Konoha's gambling house. Because after entering and leaving the casino, this guy is just like a human jammer, and all the cheating tools are ineffective. Basically, it is not a problem to earn tens of millions of taels a day. Because of this, Shikamaru is not worried about these things at all. There is even a little expectation in his heart that the inherited ninjutsu of their Nara clan can develop its potential in the hands of Lord Tianyu. After all, Tianyu has modified the 8 gates of Dunjia and can even cancel the side effects here. This matter has spread among the high-level families of Konoha. So there are indeed many families who want Tianyu to transform their ninjutsu. However, the patriarchs of these families basically have not found an excuse for the transformation. They can only wait for an opportunity and let the younger generations remember all their inheritance. They must not remember the contents of these inheritances incorrectly when Tianyu asks. In that case, their patriarchs don't know which crack to find to cry. Okay, I'm glad that you can keep your promise. Go and rescue Guji first. Tianyu was satisfied and took the inherited ninjutsu of the Nara clan into his own pocket. Then in Shikamaru's eyes, he disappeared directly from the spot and appeared next to Guji in an instant. Guji is now completely in the age of the ancient tomb, and his body has long lost the combat ability of his youth. So the 3 seals that formed the water dragon bullet just now were just a forced effort. Now Guji can't use any ordinary ninjutsu. It can be said that Guji is just an ordinary old man now. If it weren't for this, Tianyu might not have taken action now. After all, Tianyu also wanted to see what kind of level Konoha's current strongest ninja would be. Old man, you have worked hard, but it's time for you to come back. Tianyu said while waving the Kusanagi sword in his hand. In a short while, before Guji had any chance to react, all the Anbu of the surrounding Iwagakure village had been killed. Now life in the Iwagakure village is not easy. Because of this hunt for the old man, the Iwagakure village has sent out 1/3 of the Anbu team. This time all of them were lost in Tianyu's hands. It may take at least 5 years for the Iwagakure village to recover. This is also a good time for Tianyu to go to the Iwagakure village to get the tailed beast. This boy, are you a ninja from Konoha? Guji looked at the young Tianyu in front of him in confusion, wondering why this boy's fighting power was so strong. After all, Guji had heard some time ago that Konoha was seriously injured because of a rebellion. But Guji didn't hear the other second half. That is, the current first and second generation Hokage of Konoha are all resurrected. They all have the power before death in their bodies. Especially because of the leadership of the 5th generation Hokage Tsunade, all Konoha ninjas are united, and the Konoha Sannin return to Konoha. Now Konoha is the world's #1 ninja village. These things were later told by Shikamaru. Guji felt mixed emotions when he heard this, and he didn't know what to say. He watched Konoha slowly decline from glory with his own eyes. Now Konoha has returned to its peak again, and even has a tendency to surpass its peak. This made Guji burst into tears, and finally trembled constantly, mumbling something. Guji, I am the current elder of the Konoha Elders Council. I sincerely invite you to return to Konoha. Tianyu's words were already very respectful. After all, it was not easy for someone of his status to put down his attitude. Chapter 400 Tianyu's Wild Imagination. Okay, I got it. I'll go to Konoha after I deal with some things. Guji agreed to Tianyu's words. After all, he also wanted to return to Konoha as soon as possible. After all, he had lived in Konoha for decades, and his feelings for Konoha had already surpassed everything. Now Konoha is thriving, and he, an old man, is used to traveling around the world, so he should go home to take a look. Tianyu was very happy to see Guji agreed. As for what happened to Guji later, it was not Tianyu's business. When Guji finished the rest of the things, Konoha would welcome him at any time. Well, I have some important things to do here, so I won't talk to you anymore. After Tianyu greeted Guji, Suihu took Shikamaru to Awakens village. Now they are getting closer and closer to Awakens village. After all, the Anbu of Awakens village had already appeared just now, and the distance to Awakens village would not be too far. Guji also watched Tianyu leave, and continued to drag his left leg forward. The matter came to an end. No one knew why the Hidden Rock village was so aggressive in hunting down Guji. And Tianyu naturally didn't want to know about these things. In Tianyu's heart, only the Konoha ninjas bullied others. As long as the Konoha ninjas didn't do anything against reason, no one would be qualified to solve the Konoha ninjas. So for this matter, Tianyu had to go and have a good talk with the two-tongued Enoki. If the two-tongued Enoki didn't give a reasonable explanation, then the end of the Hidden Rock village would be very bleak. Maybe what they lost was not just a tailed beast. There was no need for the oldest Tsuchikage in this world. Then Tianyu rushed to the Hidden Rock village with anger in his heart. However, on the way, Tianyu still did not forget to take out the family inheritance given by Shikamaru. This was the famous shadow control technique of the Nara clan. After Tianyu's research, Tianyu finally understood what the principle of this thing was. It is to inject special chakra into the shadow, so that the shadow will appear in another world. In this way, it can also control people in reality. So if this ninjutsu is used by his scout rat, it is not impossible. This matter was done immediately. Tianyu took out a scout rat and placed it in the palm of his hand. After constantly reviewing the shadow manipulation technique in his mind, he finally understood all the information. After constantly carrying out actual combat in his mind, Tianyu began to apply the shadow manipulation technique to the scout rat. Suddenly, with a bang, the scout rat in Tianyu's hand turned into pieces. What? It seems that the sturdiness of the scout rat is still a little troublesome. Tianyu complained in his heart, then turned his head and instructed Shikamaru. Shikamaru, wait for me here, I'll go back to Konoha and come back in a while. Then Tianyu disappeared from the spot. Shikamaru smiled bitterly, then sat on the ground and began to calm his mind and continue his practice. In the secret laboratory of Orochimaru in Konoha, Tianyu appeared behind Orochimaru. Orochimaru did not seem to be panicked by the sudden appearance of a person. After all, the only person who could suddenly appear behind Orochimaru in Konoha village was Tianyu. What? Did you go to Awakens? Why did you come back suddenly? Orochimaru did not even raise his head and continued to study the blood cells of Itachi in his hand. Because Itachi's body was almost healed, there was no big problem with drawing blood. I got the inherited ninjutsu of the Nara family. Tianyu did not hide anything and said all his thoughts. Orochimaru turned his head and looked at Tianyu standing there with a very strange look. This kind of thing may only be thought of by a pervert like Tianyu. Let a blade use chakra and use ninjutsu. This is an impossible thing in itself. Didn't Tobirama Senju have such a plan at the beginning and created a monster like Zero Tail? Could it be that Tianyu also wants to follow the old path of Tobirama Senju and create a terrifying monster again? Tianyu, you should have just solved the Zero Tail. Do you still want to cause trouble for yourself? Not only that, The thing that gave Orochimaru the most headache was the countless scout rats in Tianyu's hands. If all the scout rats mutated, it would be a terrible disaster that destroyed the world. Don't worry, I am sure of my things, you just need to say, can you develop it? Tianyu didn't care about these things, he only cared about whether he could solve this matter. As long as the matter could be solved smoothly, then his scout rat killer army would appear. Well, it can be, but this is what you want. Orochimaru was still very cautious. He didn't want to bear the sinner of Konoha again. This was the respect he had finally earned. Okay, you just need to study it. You don't even know who I am. Tianyu smiled bitterly, then said hello and left the laboratory. After all, Shikamaru was still resting in the forest, and it would be bad if he didn't go back for too long. After all, the place where they rested was close to the hidden rock village, and Shikamaru's safety was still very important. Tianyu appeared in the original forest, but no matter what, he didn't find Shikamaru's shadow. What's going on? This guy has a problem. After I went out for a while. Tianyu, who felt that things were not going well, was also very helpless. He didn't want to make a big deal out of it, but now it's good. Under the circumstances, he had to have a fight with a hidden rock village. Master Tianyu, you are back. Shikamaru didn't know when he appeared behind Tianyu. It seems that it is still very troublesome when the scout rat is not around. Tianyu has already placed all his scout rats with Orochimaru. Because he is used to the days of scout rats, Tianyu rarely uses his own power to scout nearby. This led to this incident. If the person who appeared this time was not Shikamaru, but his enemy, then Tianyu would encounter something very dangerous. It seems that I have to pay attention to my own strength. After Tianyu sighed for a while, he began to look at Shikamaru, and happened to see the more than 1 meter long fish on Shikamaru's back. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone, see you in the next video.